Chapter 296. When Yi Chen and Su Jing arrived at the base of the Sky Cloud Martial School under Luo Xinglia's lead, the dragon fountain qi that had been hidden in their bloodline suddenly jumped out and drilled into the ground like a dragon diving into the ocean. After about 10 breaths of time, hundreds of miles around the Sky Cloud Martial School started to gather. Dragon roars and tiger roars could be vaguely heard in the air and underground, which was a sign that the dragon fountain qi was extremely abundant. There was a small dragon fountain under the windy mountain where the Sky Cloud Martial School was located. In fact, all the top-ranked martial institutions would choose to build their martial institutions in places with dragon fountains. That way they would be able to develop better and better. For example, the dragon fountain under the rank 7 martial institution, the Emerald Martial Valley, was much bigger than the Sky Cloud Martial School. It used to be the place where the rank 6 martial institution, the Mountain and Water Pavilion, was built. Unfortunately, after the Mountain and Water Pavilion was destroyed, the dragon fountain qi had been lost a lot. They had to rely on the 1,000 mountains and rivers layout to leave some. Even so, the dragon fountain qi that was left behind was still more than all the martial institutions in the Windy Nation combined. Right now, Yi Chen and Su Jing's dragon fountain qi poured into the dragon fountain of the Windy Mountain, and it immediately started to cleanse the dragon fountain. It also started to help the dragon fountain to gather the earth qi from tens of thousands of miles around and strengthen itself. The gathering of earth qi was way too loud, and the dragon fountain could not control it at all. Only Yi Chen's dragon fountain qi could suppress it, and Su Jing's dragon fountain qi could only support it. After a long time, the abundant dragon fountain qi gradually stabilized. One big and one small dragon fountain qi broke out of the ground and merged into Yi Chen's and Su Jing's bodies respectively. As soon as the qi of the dragon vein entered his body, Yi Chen immediately felt that the qi of the dragon vein had increased and established a vague connection with the dragon vein of the Windy Mountain. Carefully sensing it, Yi Chen found that there was a trace of his qi of the dragon vein left in the Windy Mountain dragon vein. This trace of qi of the dragon vein did not play a dominant role, but it could suppress the newly added earth qi. Meanwhile, Su Jing's qi of the dragon vein wandered around, taming the more violent earth qi and driving away some evil earth qi, maintaining the purity of the Windy Mountain dragon vein. Everyone from the Sky Cloud Martial School who was staying in the Windy Mountain or the surrounding mountains seemed to be thinking about something. Their minds suddenly became clearer, and some of the tiny distracting thoughts that were hindering their cultivation were being washed away by the invisible power. They felt much more relaxed. Behind the Qingfeng Mountain was a mountain peak that pierced through the clouds. There were 2 people sitting on the mountain peak. One of them was wearing white robes with purple edges. He looked to be in his 60s and looked very peaceful. The other one was the middle-aged Thunder Freer. "Old man, I don't know what kind of luck your Sky Cloud Martial School had in your last life, to have such a talented true dragon like Yi Chen. As long as he is alive, the Sky Cloud Martial School will continue to prosper." Thunder Freer poured himself a glass of wine and drank it all. Cloud Dreamer smiled and said, "The world is unpredictable and so is the luck. Who said that a normal place cannot have a true dragon? A true dragon can be big or small, it can rise or hide. There can be a true dragon anywhere. This true dragon is too powerful. With his late clasping Yuan realm cultivation, he was able to kill an early astral reaching realm warrior. If we give him some time, I am afraid that even you and I will be surpassed by him. I don't know what you are going to do with him. Being a core disciple is obviously not suitable." Thunder Freer asked. Cloud Dreamer hesitated for a while. "How about making him a master?" "Master, it is such a waste. Even if he is a core master, so what? He is a true dragon, how can he be under someone else? Even if he wants to, he can't do it." I am talking about the Great Master." "Great Master?" Thunder Freer opened his eyes wide. "You are not joking, are you? Isn't there a rule in the Sky Cloud Martial School that if one does not reach the astral reaching realm, one cannot be a Great Master?" Cloud Dreamer shook his head. "Rules are made by people. Since they are made by people, they can be changed. I believe that even if all the ancestors of the Sky Cloud Martial School were alive, they would not object to it." "That's true. A true dragon is something that others can't even wait to worship. Giving him the position of Supreme Elder is not a big deal. Moreover, Supreme Elder doesn't need to manage anything, which suits Yi Chen even more. The other positions are somewhat inappropriate." After thinking about it carefully, Thunder Freer felt that Cloud Dreamer's words were not groundless. He had probably planned for this a long time ago. Cloud Dreamer suddenly lifted up his head. Thousands of miles high up in the sky, the clouds were clouds, and the wind was the wind. From the surface, nothing seemed to be out of place. However, as he used his mental power to check, he immediately realized that the natural yuan qi was gathering towards the Sky Cloud Martial School. Besides that, there was an undercurrent under the ground, along with vague dragon roars and tiger roars. It is done. Cloud Dreamer let out a deep breath. He was extremely energetic. Thunder Freer put down his wine cup. I am thinking about whether or not I should join your Sky Cloud Martial School. You should not mind being a great master, right? Cloud Dreamer said, not yet. I am out in the open and you are in the dark. There are some things that I need you to take care of. I cannot move easily. Plus there is no need to rush. You saved Yi Chen's life back then, so you have already been blessed with luck. It would not be any worse than being a great master in the Sky Cloud Martial School. You think I am the hired fighter of the Sky Cloud Martial School? Thunder Freer laughed. Slowly standing up, Cloud Dreamer said, I will be right back. In the main mountain's palace, Luo Xinglia, the headmaster, Su Jing and Yi Chen were standing in the middle of the palace. A human shadow flashed past the back door of the palace. A young elder wearing white robes with purple edges walked out. He smiled slightly, looking very peaceful. Great master. Luo Xinglia and the headmaster said with respect. Hearing him, Su Jing and Yi Chen also held their fists together. Great master, greetings. Cloud Dreamer waved his hand. Yi Chen, Su Jing, you two have done a great job. No matter what happens in the future, you will still be the biggest contributors to the Sky Cloud Martial School. I am here to discuss something with you. I do not want to make it too big. Only the 5 of us need to know about it. Yi Chen said, Great master, please go ahead. Su Jing, you have trained a body-strengthening art. Although you are only at the early clasping Yuan realm, you have the power to fight against late clasping Yuan realm warriors. I have discussed with the leader and decided to give you the position of a core master. What do you think? Su Jing did not hesitate. Thank you, great master and leader. Su Jing will accept it. Since she was willing to share the fortune with the Sky Cloud Martial School, she would naturally not want to leave the school. Being a core master was not a big deal, since she would be part of the Sky Cloud Martial School anyway. I am glad to hear your decision. Although Cloud Dreamer had expected that Su Jing would accept it, he was still very happy. In the South Rudra region, there were not many martial geniuses like Su Jing. She would be able to surpass him in the future and become the real pillar of the Sky Cloud Martial School. Clearing his throat, Cloud Dreamer looked at Yi Chen. Yi Chen, are you willing to be the great master of the Sky Cloud Martial School? Yi Chen was a bit surprised. Great master? Yi Chen is still not qualified enough. It does not seem to be suitable. Luo Xinglia said, Yi Chen, the great master is all about power. Qualifications do not mean much. Plus, with your current cultivation, reaching the astral reaching realm is only a matter of time. Why don't you confirm it now so that you can focus on your own things? Since the great master and the leader think that I can do it, then I will do it. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chen nodded. Good. That would be great. Cloud Dreamer studied Su Jing and Yi Chen, then laughed. Don't worry. The school will not restrict you. You can do whatever you want. The Sky Cloud Martial School will not interfere too much. I only hope that when the Sky Cloud Martial School is in danger, you can help us. Of course. Yi Chen and Su Jing nodded at the same time. His fingers swept across the storage ring. Cloud Dreamer took out 2 tags and handed them to Su Jing and Yi Chen respectively. These are the Core Master tags and the Great Master tags. Although they are just symbols, it would be best if you don't lose them. After all, only the 5 of us know your real identities, so they might be of some use to you. Taking over the tags, Yi Chen said, In the next few days I will go back to the Yi family to take a look, then I will stay in the Sky Cloud Martial School to train. Alright, I have already prepared a mountain for you two to train. No one will disturb you. Waiting until Su Jing and Yi Chen left, Cloud Dreamer and the other 2 looked at each other and smiled. Now that everything had been settled, they could finally let out a breath. The next day, Yi Chen rode the Wind Eagle and flew towards the Yi family in the Luo city. The Wind Eagle could travel 20,000 miles a day. Within a day, Yi Chen arrived outside the Luo city. Without stopping, Yi Chen drove the Wind Eagle and flew towards the Yi family's area, which made people in the city gasp in shock. In the Yi family, it was rare for Yi Badian to come back to the Yi family. As an inner elder of the Purple Sun Martial School, because of the fact that a genius like Yi Chen had appeared in his family, he had become the enemy of the Purple Sun Martial School. Because of this, he had been pushed aside by the other inner elders a lot. He had been holding back his anger for a long time. He didn't know if it was because of Yi Chen, or because of what he had been through. Either way, he was not happy. Father, that's a Wind Eagle. His eldest son Yi Feng, also came back with Yi Badian. He was already at the mid-condensing reality realm. Normally, his talent was not that bad, it could be considered as above average. However, things were different now. His mid-condensing reality realm cultivation could no longer attract any attention. Yi Badian raised his head, sneered and said, "This is the Yi family, people from the Sky Cloud Martial School dare to come here on a winged eagle. They are not taking me seriously at all. Get down." Yi Badian reached out his right hand. His Jin Qi surged up and created a strong suction force. Whoosh! A fierce gale started blowing and the winged eagle started shaking. Yi Qin, who was covered by the winged eagle, stood up. Seeing Yi Badian's attack, he frowned and waved his right hand, cutting off the suction force. Yi Qin. Yi Badian squinted his eyes. Yi Feng plucked up his courage and said, "Yi Qin, why don't you come down and greet my father?" It had only been 2 days since Yi Qin came back to the Windy Nation. What happened in the Hidden Dragon Ancient City had not been spread out yet. Only a few people in the martial world knew about it. In Yi Feng's eyes, Yi Qin was only at the peak level early clasping Yuan realm or mid clasping Yuan realm at most. There was still a huge gap between him and his father, Yi Badian. Yi Qin remained expressionless. "Greetings, uncle." After saying that, he rode the winged eagle and flew towards the plaza of the Yi family. "How dare you!" Yi Badian yelled. He was a bit surprised that Yi Qin had cut off his palm attack. However, he had reached the late clasping Yuan realm for a long time, and was one of the most powerful inner elders in the Purple Sun Martial School. How could he let Yi Qin look down on him? Enraged, he threw out a palm attack, trying to show his power. Chapter 297. Feeling the sharp fist power coming right at him, Yi Qin threw out a punch without even turning his head. He had performed the first movement of the 5 mountain godly fist art, 5 mountain consolidating shapes. The bright yellow halo formed into a shadow of a mountain. The shadow vibrated and the air collapsed. Yi Badian's fist power didn't even reach 10 meters before it was shattered. Boom. The courtyard that Yi Badian was in was flattened, and a huge fist mark appeared in front of him. It was 5 meters deep. Yi Badian could not stop his body. He backed out for dozens of steps, his face pale. As for Yi Feng, he had already been blown hundreds of meters away by the fist wind. He was dizzy from the impact. In the air, Yi Qin's voice was heard. "I respect you as my uncle, so I will let bygones be bygones. But it does not mean that you can do whatever you want in front of me. Some things should be kept to yourself." Yi Badian's face kept changing. At the same time, he was shocked by Yi Qin's power. A casual punch from him had pushed him back for dozens of steps without giving him any chance to fight back. Perhaps he had reached the late clasping Yuan realm? No matter whether he wanted to admit it or not, martial geniuses were almost invincible among warriors at the same cultivation level. All of a sudden, Yi Badian looked like he had aged 10 years. If his biggest advantage was not even worth mentioning, then what would be left? Father has been beaten? Yi Feng awkwardly crawled up and looked around at the courtyard that had been razed to the ground. He saw Yi Badian's expression drastically change, and his face was filled with disbelief. The last thing he had relied on in his heart had been destroyed, and his pride had been crushed. This kind of blow made his heart feel empty, and his eyes had lost all of their previous spirit. On the plaza of the Yi family, people from the Yi family had already arrived after hearing the commotion. Yi Tianhao and Xin Yuqing were walking in front of the crowd. Xin Yuqing was even holding 2 beautiful babies in his arms. Yi Qin turned around and smiled. "Father. Mother." Yi Tianhao, who was still smiling, gave Yi Qin a bear hug. "Finally you are back." "Yeah." Yi Qin nodded slightly. "What happened to your uncle?" How could Yi Tianhao not know that Yi Qin had razed Yi Badian's courtyard to the ground with a single punch? At the same time, he was also worried that Yi Qin would kill Yi Badian. After all, Yi Badian had never done anything to harm his family, so he didn't deserve to die. Yi Qin said, "Don't worry, I know what I'm doing." "Tianhao, don't you know Qin'er's character? He's not someone who kills indiscriminately." Xin Yuqing's eyes were slightly moist and he immediately said, "What are you talking about here? Come into the hall." Yeah. It seemed that Yi Qin had an amiable temperament. The 2 babies in Xin Yuqing's arms wriggled their bodies slightly. Their big black eyes were filled with joy. They looked straight at Yi Qin and made vague sounds from their mouths. "Mother, this must be my younger brother and sister. Let me hold them." Yi Qin carefully took his younger brother and sister from Xin Yuqing's arms and let them lie in his arms in a comfortable way. As soon as they were in Yi Qin's arms, the 2 little guys laughed adorably. Their chubby cheeks were pressed against Yi Qin's chest, looking very intimate. Shen Yuqing smiled and said, "They like you very much. It seems that they like you more than me and your father." Yi Chen followed Shen Yuqing into the hall and asked, "Mother, what are my younger brother and sister's names?" "Your younger brother is called Yi Xian, and your younger sister is called Yi Xiaoxiao." The two little guys are asleep. Yi Chen looked down and saw that his younger brother and sister had both closed their eyes. Their mouths were slightly open, revealing a pair of baby teeth. Coupled with the blush on their cheeks, they looked extremely cute. In the hall, Yi Chen was holding the two babies in his arms. He looked no different from the handsome boy next door. However, after everyone had heard the news about the hidden dragon rank from him, they all looked up at him, who was standing in the clouds, the #1 warrior of the young generation in the South Rudra region. #1 in the hidden dragon rank. The Yi family is so lucky. An elder from the Yi family yelled out with tears running down his face. Yi Tianhao was also shocked by Yi Chen's words. In fact, Yi Chen's ranking in the hidden dragon rank had already shocked him, but the #1 in the hidden dragon rank had made him blank out for a short period of time. He could not even say a word. What did the hidden dragon rank represent? Everyone knew that it was the biggest competition in the South Rudra region. It was the competition that the young generation of the South Rudra region had to fight for. It would not be easy to get out of the competition. However, Yi Chen had not only gotten out of the competition, but he had also pushed all of the top young warriors aside and walked to the top of the South Rudra region by himself. If Yi Chen came from a famous family or a famous martial institution, it would not be shocking at all. However, he was obviously from a family in a small country in the South Rudra region. He was not even one of the top warriors in the Windy Nation, and his background was not even worth mentioning in the outside world. Compared to those rank 6 martial institution disciples, it was like the difference between an ant and an elephant. Besides that, everyone from the Yi family had the same feeling. The Yi family was an unranked family, and Yi Chen had turned from a mediocre person to a real dragon. The combination of the two had created a legend that belonged to ordinary people. They had no doubt that when the news of Yi Chen winning the first place in the hidden dragon rank spread out, it would cause a huge sensation. Perhaps the whole martial world of the Windy Nation would be boiling, and the whole martial world of the South Rudra region would be boiling. Well done. Yi Tianhao slapped heavily on Yi Chen's shoulder, his eyes filled with tears. His body did not shake, as Yi Chen did not want to wake his brother and sister up. In fact, the noise in the hall did not even reach his brother and sister's ears, as they were all blocked out by his Zhen Qi. Yi Chen said, "Father, I told you before that I would not let you down. Indeed, you did not let me down. I am proud of you and the Yi family is proud of you." As the leader of the Yi family, Yi Tianhao had been under a lot of pressure. He was afraid that the Yi family would fall in his hands, and he was afraid that he would not live up to his father's expectations. But now, all of that pressure was gone because his son was even more powerful than him, 100 times more powerful. The humiliation and gossip when he was young did not defeat him. Instead, it made him stand up and shine brighter than the sun. Outside the hall, Yi Badian stood there in a daze, and next to him was Yi Feng, who had a blank face. The father and son were like outsiders. They could not feel the surprise, nor could they feel the warmth of the family because all of those things had been killed by them. In their minds, all of the things that they had done in the past had been so ridiculous, so fragile. Yi Chen glanced at Yi Badian and Yi Feng, who were standing outside the hall. He did not pay much attention to them. There was still a chance for them to repent, but if they lost this chance there would be no more. The Yi family he wanted was a united Yi family, not a Yi family that was always fighting against each other. Anyone or anything that stood in the way of unity would be crushed by him. Chapter 298. Night fell. The main yard of the Yi family was brightly lit. In the living room of the main yard, Yi Chen took out a book from his storage ring and piled it on the table. "Father, Mother, let's take these as our family's martial arts." Shen Yuqing randomly picked up a book, and as soon as he opened it he was shocked. Mid-rank Earth Realm Sword Art, Jade Breaking Sword Art? Mid-rank Earth Realm Sword Art? Yi Tianhao didn't realize it. He also picked up a book, opened it and read, Mid-rank Earth Realm Martial Art, Wave Shock Spell. It really is a mid-rank Earth Realm martial art. There is also a fist art. There is also a kick art. After reading over 10 books in a row, Shen Yuqing and Yi Tianhao looked at Yi Chen at the same time. They were shocked. Among the 20 books Yi Chen took out, there were 3 mid-rank Earth Realm martial arts, 5 low-rank Earth Realm martial arts, and 18 top-rank Mortal Realm martial arts, all of which were top-rank. Not to mention the top 8 families of the Windy Nation. Even a ranked martial institution would not be able to compete with them. Yi Tianhao said, "Shanair, are these all yours?" Yi Chen nodded. "I've been training outside for more than a year, I've had a couple of adventures and I've killed a lot of powerful warriors. These are all from them and some are given to the Sky Cloud Martial School. Father, the martial art you're training is already a mid-rank Earth Realm martial art, so you don't need to change it. You can train this jade-breaking sword art. Mother, the martial art you're training is only a low-rank Earth Realm martial art, so you can change it to a better one. As for a high-rank Earth Realm martial art, we can't get it for now, but we will find a way in the future." "That's enough. Even if you give us a high-rank Earth Realm martial art, we won't be able to understand it completely." The martial art that Yi Tianhao was practicing was the only mid-rank Earth Realm martial art in the Yi family. It was bought by the third-generation family head with a huge price. It had always been a martial art that only the family head could practice. However, up until now Yi Tianhao had not practiced it to the highest level. Giving him a high-rank Earth Realm martial art would be a waste. Shen Yuqing said, "Your father is right. Mid-rank Earth Realm martial arts are our limit. There is no need to waste time looking for higher-ranked martial arts." They were not geniuses nor were they lonely people. They had a lot of time to practice martial arts. Therefore, even if there was a high-grade Earth tier manual in front of them, they would still choose to give it up and keep it as their family's secret. Jade shattering sword art, not bad. With it, my battling power would increase by at least 30 to 40%, and I would even be able to compete with late clasping Yuan realm warriors. Yi Tianhao grinned, holding the jade shattering sword art manual in his hand. Yi Chen chuckled. This jade-breaking sword art manual was exchanged from Cloud Dreamer, and all the martial arts he got from the two astral-reaching realm warriors had been given to the Sky Cloud Martial School. After all, the Yi family did not have the power to fight against astral-reaching realm warriors. Here are some pellets. Some can increase your cultivation slightly, and some can replenish your spirit and chi. You guys can use them yourselves. Yi Chen then took out bottles of pellets from his storage ring. These pellets were not cheap. Some of them were even worth tens of thousands of low-rank soul stones. Yi Tianhao and Shen Yuqing were full of smiles. If it were someone else giving them the manuals and pellets, they might reject it. But since it was their son, they were more than happy about it. More importantly, they did not want to be a burden to Yi Chen. Only by becoming more powerful would they be able to reduce Yi Chen's worries. The two little ones were very quiet in Yi Chen's arms. When they woke up, they stared at Yi Chen and the other two with their big shiny eyes. They did not make any noise, and they seemed to be much more energetic than when Yi Chen had just arrived. Even Shen Yuqing was quite surprised, and thought that Yi Chen was the reason for the change. Yi Chen thought of the Dragon Fountain Qi, which could not only increase the luck of the martial institutions, but also the luck of his family. The difference was that the people in the martial institutions were not related to him by blood, so he needed to inject part of the Dragon Fountain Qi to stabilize the luck. However, the people in his family were his blood relatives, and that kind of bloodline connection could not be cut off. Now that he had returned, the Dragon Fountain Qi had already affected his family, especially his parents and siblings. In a couple of days, I will go into closed-door training in the Sky Cloud Martial School. This Wind Eagle will stay here, and if you need anything you can come to me directly. Yi Chen thought for a while and said. Yi Tianhao nodded. "All right, you don't need to worry about us, just take care of yourself." Okay. In the next couple of days, Yi Chen didn't do anything else. He stayed with his family, telling them about his experiences, and sharing the happiness of his family. On the 5th day, Yi Chen returned to the Sky Cloud Martial School. The mountain that Cloud Dreamer had chosen for him was the second mountain behind the main mountain, right next to the mountain where Cloud Dreamer was staying. The mountain was extremely steep and there was no way to climb it. On the mountain, there were fountains and waterfalls, flowers and trees, and it was surrounded by a misty sea of clouds, which made the mountain faintly visible. What a beautiful place. The Sky Cloud Martial School built their school in this place for a reason. Except for the main mountain, the mountain that Yi Chen was staying on was the steepest one, and the mountain that Cloud Dreamer was staying on was the most mysterious. These three mountains could be called the three peaks of the Sky Cloud Martial School. The mountain didn't have a name yet, and would be named by the Great Master himself. Yi Chen didn't think too much, and directly named it the Shocking Cloud Mountain. It was the 3rd day since Yi Chen had moved in. The huge mountain had already been explored by him, and he was completely familiar with it. On the top of the mountain, Yi Chen stood there. It is time to close up. The Green Lotus Sword spell is a top-rank Earth Realm martial art, so it is not hard to imagine how hard it would be to train. In a short period of time, my battling power would not increase, but decrease instead. But after this period of time, my battling power would increase to an unprecedented level. It is such a shame that I have never used that bit of Zhenyuan from the mysterious great art. Once I change my martial art, this bit of Zhenyuan would be wasted. What a shame. The biggest problem for Yi Qin was the bit of Zhenyuan in the Zhenqi spiral inside his body. This bit of Zhenyuan was not half-step Zhenyuan, but a genuine supreme Zhenyuan, which was extremely pure. Without exaggeration, with this bit of Zhenyuan, Yi Qin would be able to kill a peak-level early astral-reaching realm warrior within a second. Even a mid-astral reaching realm warrior would be severely wounded if they were careless. A bit of Zhenyuan would be more powerful than any ace attacks. It would be the ace of all ace attacks, the ace of all ace attacks. It would be able to turn the tables completely. However, it was not a good idea to stay here. The Green Lotus Sword spell was 2 ranks higher than the mysterious great art, and it was a martial art suitable for sword artists to train. Combined with the Green Lotus Sword art, it would allow him to have the power to kill early astral-reaching realm warriors under normal conditions. He would not need to perform the minor blood demon body separating great art or that pile of Zhenyuan, since both of them had their own advantages. Plus, time was precious. If he delayed training the Green Lotus Sword spell by 1 day, his progress would be delayed by 1 day, which would affect his future achievements. Never mind, I will train the Green Lotus Sword spell first. Once I have the power to kill astral-reaching realm warriors face to face, that bit of Zhenyuan would not be that useful anymore. Biting on his teeth, Yi Qin had finally made up his mind. There were a lot of training rooms under the shocking Cloud Mountain, and the biggest one was right in the middle of the mountain. There were 2 paths in the room. One was the normal path that led to the inside of the building, and the other was the cave that led to the main mountain of the Sky Cloud Martial School. On top of the stone platform in the middle of the room, Yi Qin sat with his legs crossed. The Green Lotus Sword spell has 15 levels. For normal warriors, reaching the 9th level would be equivalent to reaching the 11th level of the mysterious great art. But I am a sword artist who has learned the sword intent, so I should be able to recover my original battling power after reaching the 8th level. Taking a deep breath, Yi Qin slowly closed his eyes and started to operate his Zhen Qi according to the first level of the Green Lotus Sword spell. The training method for the first level of any martial art would be very easy. Even the most ordinary of warriors would be able to train it successfully. Yi Qin's comprehensive ability was extremely powerful, plus the fact that the Green Lotus Sword spell was the perfect fit for him. His training speed could not even be described as twice the result with half the effort, because within half an hour he had already reached the 2nd level. The 2nd level was a couple of times harder than the first, but it was still not too difficult for Yi Qin. After an hour he had successfully trained the 2nd level again, and was now at the 3rd level. It would not be possible to break through from the 3rd to the 4th level within a short period of time. It had nothing to do with comprehensive ability, it was a necessary process since operating the Zhen Qi would take a lot of time as well. 3 days passed. Beams of sword-shaped Qi spread out, signifying the completion of the 4th level. It's faster than I thought. It should be the experience from training the mysterious great art. Warriors would change their martial arts not only to become stronger, but also because they had trained other martial arts before. Changing martial arts could more or less save time. Otherwise, warriors would have to spend their entire lives changing martial arts, and it would be impossible for them to improve. After that, Yi Qin spent 1 week to reach the 5th level, half a month to reach the 6th level, and 1 month to reach the 7th level. The mysterious Zhen Qi is about to be completely transformed into the Green Lotus Zhen Qi. I will not be able to keep this Zhenyuan anymore. Sinking his consciousness into his Dantian, Yi Qin could see that there were 2 spirals of Zhen Qi in his Dantian. The fist-sized one was the Green Lotus Zhen Qi, while the pigeon egg-sized one was the mysterious Zhen Qi. Wrapped by the mysterious Zhen Qi, there was a finger-sized drop of pure Zhenyuan that was perfectly still, shining brightly without any impurities. Getting rid of his depressed mood, Yi Qin pushed his Green Lotus Zhen Qi to wrap up the mysterious Zhen Qi, wanting to convert it all into Green Lotus Zhen Qi in preparation for breaking through to the 8th level. A sound that could not be heard from the outside world appeared inside Yi Qin's Dantian. The mysterious Zhen Qi was decreasing bit by bit, while the Green Lotus Zhen Qi was growing bit by bit. That drop of Zhenyuan was gradually exposed. Yi Qin could imagine that once the Zhenyuan lost the nourishment of the mysterious Zhen Qi, it would instantly turn into normal mysterious Zhen Qi. Whatever, it's better to deal with it sooner rather than later. The conversion speed did not decrease but instead increased. Yi Qin pushed his Green Lotus Zhen Qi to its limit. Finally, the mysterious Zhen Qi had been completely converted into Green Lotus Zhen Qi. Only a finger-sized drop of Zhenyuan was left, quietly floating in the air of his dantian. It was vibrating slowly but surely, a sign that it was about to break down. Right then, a Zhenqi thread shot out from the center of the green lotus Zhenqi, wrapping around the drop of Zhenyuan and pulling it in. In the next second, countless Zhenqi threads connected with the Zhenyuan, just like the meridians and blood vessels around the heart. They were all interconnected and could not be cut or separated. Seeing this, Yichen looked surprised. He did not expect that the Zhenyuan would not only not disappear, but instead enter the green lotus Zhenqi. Chapter 299. Although he had already prepared to give up on that stream of Zhenyuan, it would be a lie to say that he did not feel pain in his heart. After all, he had not used that stream of Zhenyuan even once since he started to cultivate it. He did not even know how powerful it was, which made Yichen feel pain in his heart. But now there was no need to worry. The Zhenyuan had already merged with the green lotus Zhenqi. As time passed, the mysterious Zhenyuan would also be converted into green lotus Zhenyuan, and would no longer have any connection with the mysterious Zhenqi. So, there would not be any problem of not being able to use it. Perhaps the problem lies with the Great Mystery Art. Otherwise, the moment the Great Mystery Zhenqi disappeared, the Great Mystery Zhenyuan should have disintegrated immediately, instead of staying there and giving the green lotus Zhenqi a chance to react. Yichen could vaguely feel that the martial arts from the Heavenly Dream Battle Palace were not simple at all. A mid-rank Earth Realm martial art could actually produce a stream of Zhenyuan, which was unbelievable. Never mind. Trying to understand something that I cannot understand is not a good thing. Yichen shook his head and did not want to spend any more time on this topic. Sinking his consciousness into his dantian again, Yichen saw that the mysterious Zhenyuan was slowly moving in the green lotus Zhenqi, gradually transforming into the green lotus Zhenyuan. During the transformation, the mysterious Zhenyuan was inevitably a bit mixed. Not only did it contain a huge amount of mysterious Zhenyuan, but also a small amount of green lotus Zhenyuan. Moving his attention away from the Zhenyuan, Yichen focused on the 3 green lotus sword chi outside the Zhenqi spiral. These 3 green lotus sword chi were only as long as a pinky finger. They were pure blue without any impurities and looked a bit illusory. They looked like streams of sharp airflow, spinning around the Zhenqi spiral in a regular pattern. They were in perfect order and did not clash with each other at all. I have reached the 7th level of the green lotus sword spell in less than 2 months. This speed is indeed a bit fast. It seems that the higher my cultivation, the faster my martial arts will be. Yichen did not think that his training speed was 10 times faster than the other top martial geniuses. It should be known that not only normal warriors needed to change their martial arts, even the disciples of the super martial institutions needed to change their martial arts. Because when one's cultivation was still low, even if one was given a powerful martial art, one would not be able to train it normally. Therefore, in the early stages of training, most people would be training the mortal realm martial arts instead of the earth realm martial arts. Martial arts had always been about progress step by step. Those top martial geniuses had just reached the clasping yuan realm and had already started to train high-rank or top-rank earth realm martial arts, which was a challenge for them. If they were the same as Yichen and only started to train top-rank earth realm martial arts at their current cultivation, their speed would definitely be much faster. It was just like how Yichen was still unable to learn the Sky Realm martial arts right now. He had spent more than a year to learn it, but Sea of Souls Realm warriors were able to learn it within a couple of months. Did it mean that Sea of Souls Realm warriors' comprehensive ability was 10 times or even dozens of times better than Yichen's? This was impossible. The cultivation speed would be determined by the level one reached. The meaning of being a martial genius was that under the same conditions, their cultivation speed would be extremely fast. You could not compare an early clasping yuan realm martial genius with a late clasping yuan realm martial genius like Yichen, which would be unfair in itself. Of course, Yichen was confident that under the same conditions, the cultivation speed of a peerless genius would not be able to match up to his, although it was not as exaggerated. Kill? Sitting cross-legged on the stone platform, Yichen suddenly pointed his finger. A beam of cyan sword chi darted out, leaving a Zhonglong sword mark on the ground. It was not that powerful, only about the same as the sword chi released by a normal late clasping yuan realm sword artist. It was not as powerful as the sword chi released by Yichen's sword. As the sword chi darted out, one of the green lotus sword chi in Yichen's dantian suddenly disappeared, and he would not be able to generate more in a short period of time. Only 2 green lotus sword chi were left spinning around his Zhen chi. The green lotus sword chi inside my body has only been formed not long ago. It seems like I will need a long time to train it before I can bring out its full power. Letting out a long breath, Yi Chen's fingers swept across his storage ring. A huge pile of low-rank soul stones appeared on the ground. There were at least thousands of them. In the early stages of changing martial arts, there was no need for soul stones to provide Yuan Qi, because the original Jin Qi could be directly converted into the current Jin Qi, which would save the training process. But, as the mysterious Jin Qi was used up, it would be time to use soul stones to increase the training speed. 2 low-rank soul stones landed in Yi Chen's hand. He closed his eyes and operated the Jin Qi inside his body according to the 7th level of the Green Lotus Sword spell. Soon Yi Chen opened his eyes. No, the low-rank soul stone's Yuan Qi is not pure enough. It cannot keep up with the Green Lotus Jin Qi's training speed. Do I have to use mid-rank soul stones? Normally, only the powerful warriors who had reached the astral reaching realm would use mid-rank soul stones to train, because the Zhen Yuan was way too pure. It would take too much time to train the low-rank soul stone's Yuan Qi. Right now, Yi Chen was also facing this problem. The Green Lotus Jin Qi trained by the Green Lotus Sword spell was extremely pure, at least twice as pure as the mysterious Jin Qi. Therefore, using low-rank soul stones would be much more efficient. Putting away the low-rank soul stones on the ground, Yi Chen took out hundreds of mid-rank soul stones. After training for a while, Yi Chen nodded to himself. This time he was right. Although it might be a bit of a waste to train the mid-rank soul stones Yuan Qi into Green Lotus Jin Qi, compared to his power, it was nothing. With 60 to 70,000 mid-rank soul stones, Yi Chen could definitely afford it. Reaching the 8th level of the Green Lotus Sword spell from the 7th level was a very difficult process. It took Yi Chen a whole 2 months before he finally succeeded. A sharp qi flow spread out in the air. The walls of the secret room had all been eroded to a crisp powder falling down. After resting for half a day and eating something, Yi Chen continued to train his Green Lotus Sword spell. It had been 7 months since Yi Chen started his closed-door training. During this period of time, the Sky Cloud Martial School had undergone a huge change. Not only did the number of outer disciples increase from 3,000 to 5,000, but the number of inner disciples had also increased from 500 to 700. The biggest change was the number of outer masters. Countless clasping Yuan realm warriors in the Windy Nation wanted to join the Sky Cloud Martial School. Because of this, the leaders of the Sky Cloud Martial School had increased the difficulty of the selection. Besides having enough power, they also had to have a good character. Those with bad reputations were rejected, and those with ordinary reputations would not have any advantage. Only some of the clasping Yuan realm warriors with good reputations would have a higher chance of joining the Sky Cloud Martial School. Many people expressed their dissatisfaction with what the leaders of the Sky Cloud Martial School had done. Unfortunately, what could they do? It was you who wanted to join the Sky Cloud Martial School, not the other way around. On this day, the Sky Cloud Martial School was the same as usual, and the number of people who wanted to join had decreased a lot. Hundreds of miles away, above the clouds, a beam of lightning flashed across. Within the lightning, one could vaguely see a beast and 2 people. The beast was a demonic beast and it had 5 wings. 2 pairs of wings were symmetrical and the one in the middle was a lot smaller. It was covered with lightning, and it was exactly this lightning that made its speed reach such a horrifying level. It was a couple of times faster than the windy vulture. On the back of the demonic beast, 2 human figures were standing. The elder on the left had a beard and was wearing a long gray robe. He was standing with his hands behind his back, looking like a powerful warrior. Next to the elder was a young man with a pair of godlike eyes. It was Xikong Sheng, who had lost to Yi Chen in the last battle of the Hidden Dragon rank. On the day when the Hidden Dragon rank had ended, Xikong Sheng rode on the only rank 7 demonic beast in the Floating Mountain Martial School, the Bright Thunder Beast. He had rushed back to the Floating Mountain Martial School in 1 week and started his closed-door training. This was also the reason why he dared to challenge Yi Chen in half a year. After all, the South Rudra region was way too big, and without a fast demonic beast, it would take at least 1 to 2 months to get back. 9 months of closed-door training. Do you have the confidence to beat Yi Chen? The elder in the gray robe asked. Xikong Sheng said, in the last battle of the Hidden Dragon rank, my first movement of the mysterious Sky Tyrant Fist art was not completed yet. My martial art had also stopped at the peak level of the 11th realm, and had not reached the 12th realm yet. This time I have successfully trained my martial art to the 12th realm, and I have also mastered the first movement of the mysterious Sky Tyrant Fist art. I have also learned the first movement of the second movement. It should be enough for me to beat him. That would be for the best. The demonic beast of the Sky Cloud Martial School is the Wind Eagle. It would take at least 2 months to get back from the Hidden Dragon Ancient City. In other words, he would only have 7 months of closed-door training, which is 2 months less than you. He has reached the late clasping Yuan realm, and 7 months would not be able to increase his battling power that much. What belongs to me I will take it back myself. The glory in the early stage is nothing. Xikong Sheng looked even colder. The bright thunder beast flew out of the clouds, and the two could already see the main mountain of the Sky Cloud Martial School not far away. Get down? The elder yelled. The lightning flashed once in the air. When it reappeared, it was already above the Sky Cloud Martial School. Such a fast demonic beast. There are people up there. There are really people? They are not friendly. Hurry up and inform the leader and all the masters. The bright thunder beast had made too much noise. Everyone on the main mountain of the Sky Cloud Martial School had been stirred up. They all rushed to the plaza on top of the main mountain. Luo Xinglia walked out of the palace. Seeing Xikong Sheng on the bright thunder beast, he squinted his eyes and said politely, "I am the leader of the Sky Cloud Martial School, Luo Xinglia. I wonder what brings you two here." The elder looked down at Luo Xinglia. "Let Yi Chen out." "Yi Chen? He is in closed-door training. We should not disturb him." Luo Xinglia frowned. He had more or less figured out why Xikong Sheng was here. It seemed like he had made some progress in the past 9 months. This time he must be here to beat Yi Chen and take back the dragon fountain chi that belonged to him. Xikong Sheng jumped down from the bright thunder beast and looked around. He noticed that the inner disciples of the Sky Cloud Martial School were all different. He sneered, "This battle is inevitable. I have made a deal with him. Let him fight me first and then go into closed-door training." The headmaster of the Sky Cloud Martial School said, "I am afraid that is not a good idea." To be honest, the headmaster had started to worry about Yi Chen. Xikong Sheng had come with a lot of power. If he did not have the confidence, he would not have come to the Sky Cloud Martial School. Since he had come, he must have the confidence to beat Yi Chen. What is not good about it? The elder was a core master in the Floating Mountain Martial School. His cultivation had reached the late astral reaching realm a long time ago. He did not care about Luo Xinglia and the headmaster at all. Hearing him, Luo Xinglia's face looked terrible. The situation was not in his favor. Even if he did not want to, there was nothing he could do. He sighed inwardly. This dragon fountain chi was indeed a hot potato. It would not be easy to keep it. But he was one of the people who knew about Yi Chen's closed-door training. It had only been 7 months and he would not be able to beat Xikong Sheng no matter what. "Xikong Sheng, you seem to be late." Right then, a clear voice was heard from the shocking cloud mountain behind the main mountain. It was extremely sharp, like sword chi spreading out quickly. Chapter 300. Brother Yi has finished his training. A lot of the inner disciples and core disciples of the Sky Cloud Martial School felt pressured by Xikong Sheng's aura, which made them feel a bit shorter. It was like there was a giant standing in front of them, a god of war looking down on them from the clouds. That kind of king's aura had made them feel breathless. Only then did they realize who their brother Yi Chen had defeated. Their admiration for Yi Chen had reached its peak, almost to the point of worship. The cloud mist between the main mountain and the shocking cloud mountain was torn apart. Yi Chen, who was wearing blue robes and had a long sword on his waist, flew over. Wherever he passed, the air was like water, with ripples spreading out everywhere. All of a sudden, Yi Chen landed on the main mountain. "Yi Chen, are you okay?" Luo Xinglia hurried to ask. Yi Chen shook his head as he shifted his gaze to Xikong Sheng and said, "If you had come a month earlier, I think it would not have been that easy to win against you. But you did not take this opportunity." Half a month ago, Yi Chen had already trained his Green Lotus Sword spell from the 8th level to the 9th level. In the remaining time he had reached the peak level of the 9th level. The 3 Green Lotus Jin Chi inside his body had gone through 2 fundamental changes. After 5 months of training, the power of his Green Lotus Sword chi had increased drastically. It could be counted as one of his killing attacks, and he would not be afraid of anyone in close combat. Xikong Sheng could feel that Yi Chen's sword aura was a bit more powerful than when he was in the Hidden Dragon Valley. However, thinking about his own improvement, he sneered, "Losing to you in the Hidden Dragon rank competition was the biggest shame of my life. Now I will take it back with my own hands." Yi Chen glanced at the elder on the Thunder Beast. "Unfortunately, I do not plan to give away the first place of the Hidden Dragon rank and the Dragon Fountain Chi." "Then let's wait and see." The two stopped talking as their cold eyes clashed in the air. The vibrations generated were extremely horrifying. Even Luo Han and Zhu Mei did not dare to be within 30 meters of them. On the Cloud Mountain, Thunder Freer said seriously, This Xikong Xing is not simple at all. It has only been 9 months and he has already improved so much. It seems like he is not far from the second Jin Yuan purification. Cloud Dreamer nodded. This is the first time I have seen this man. He is indeed a top genius with a king bloodline. The pressure of his aura alone can make people feel like they are no match for him. I am afraid only Yi Chen's sword aura can resist him. It's just that Yi Chen has just changed his cultivation method. Being able to recover his original battle strength is already his limit. His situation is not optimistic. Thunder Freer did not take Yi Chen's minor blood demon body separating great art into consideration. Although this secret martial art was powerful and could increase one's fighting power, it should not be exposed to the public. Back in the day, the blood demon had slaughtered a lot of powerful warriors from the floating mountain martial school. It was hard to guarantee that the elder on the Huang Thunder Beast would not make a big fuss about it and cause some trouble. Just wait and see. I don't think Yi Chen doesn't know about this. Cloud Dreamer was much calmer than Thunder Freer. He knew that Yi Chen's achievements were definitely not due to luck. This place is not a good place to fight. Let's go somewhere else. Once they had reached this level of battling power, their destructive power would be extremely powerful. They would not be any weaker than astral-reaching realm warriors. After a big battle, the buildings on the main mountain would be turned into ruins, which was not what Yi Chen wanted to see. Flashing his body, Yi Chen flew toward the mountains behind the main mountain. Xikong Sheng's battling intent surged as he followed closely behind. Hurry up. Brother Yi is about to battle with Xikong Sheng. This battle will be the top battle between the young generation of the South Rudra region. If we miss this, we will never be able to see it again. A lot of the core disciples and inner disciples chased after Yi Chen. Luo Xinglia did not stop them. No matter if Yi Chen won or lost, being able to watch this battle would be a good thing for the disciples of the Sky Cloud Martial School. It would help them to have the competitive spirit. There was a short mountain in the middle of the mountains. It was less than 800 meters tall, covering 7 to 8 miles of land. There were rocks all over the mountain and hardly any plants could be seen. On top of the short mountain, Yi Chen and Xikong Xing stood facing each other, 100 meters apart. Around the short mountain, there were human figures everywhere. Some of them were standing on the 100-meter-tall ancient trees, while some of them were standing on the hills. There were also some people with good eyesight who had climbed up to the mountains that were a bit further away looking down from above. Right then, almost half of the people from the Sky Cloud Martial School had gathered in the mountains behind them. A dim light flashed through his storage ring, and 2 dark blue gloves appeared in Xikong Sheng's hands, shining with a cold light. Putting on the gloves, the half-step Zhen Yuan inside Xikong Sheng's body exploded completely. The powerful pressure spread out in all directions, and the sparse trees on the short mountain were all uprooted and blown away. It was a horrifying scene. On the other side, Yi Chen placed his right hand on the sword hilt. His body was like a sword and his aura was like a sword. The pressure brought by Xikong Sheng's half-step Zhen Yuan had not even gotten close to Yi Chen before it was cut open by that powerful sword aura, creating a peaceful area. Let's fight. The light in his eyes had reached its limit. Xikong Sheng took a step forward and appeared in front of Yi Chen within a second, throwing out a fist attack. Space Flash Step. Sky Tyrant Fist Attack. Right from the start, Xikong Sheng had pushed his battling power to a new peak. It would be fine if he did not move, but once he moved, it would be like a tsunami that could shatter the sky. Green Lotus Light. Chen. Taking out his Star Scar sword, Yi Chen yelled with a low voice, blocking out Xikong Sheng's fist attack. Crack. A huge crack appeared in between the two, spreading out at an extreme speed. Within a second, it had turned into a couple of miles long and 10 meters wide pitch-black gully. The mountain has cracked. Most of the disciples of the Sky Cloud Martial School had never seen such a horrifying battle before. The moment they clashed, the 800 meters tall mountain had been cracked open, and the ground had been shaken. All right, take another punch from me. Xikong Sheng's eyes looked horrifying. His body shook once and his half-step Zhen Yuan spread out, covering half of the mountain. Something shocking happened. The half of the mountain that had been cracked started to attack towards Yi Chen. Combined with Xikong Sheng's powerful aura, he looked like a real battle god. Green Lotus Mountain Opening. Yi Chen did not back out. The Star Scar sword in his hand was waved up, and a waterfall-like sword chi shot out, cutting the half of the mountain that Xikong Sheng was on in half. Rocks flew everywhere. Xikong Sheng flew up into the sky, throwing out a punch. It was the ace attack of the Sky Tyrant Fist art, Sky Breaking Fist. Rumble. The other half of the mountain was completely shattered, and boulders of different sizes were thrown out in all directions, like a goddess scattering flowers. Watch out! Even the smallest of these rocks weighed tens of thousands of pounds, while the bigger ones were as big as a small hill. Most of the disciples of the Sky Cloud Martial School did not dare to fight against them alone. Dozens of people gathered together, attacking the rocks together. They looked shocked and excited at the same time. Stepping on a huge rock that had been thrown into the sky, Yi-Chin thought to himself, "He has indeed improved a lot. Before, this ace attack was not completed yet, and was easily broken by my Kill Heart Sword attack. But now it has been completed, and the only way left is to develop the mentality." After the completion of the Earth Realm martial arts, the warriors would have to study the mentality if they wanted to become more powerful. Astral Reaching Realm warriors would not only be powerful in terms of cultivation, but their martial mentality would also be more powerful than Clasping Yuan Realm warriors. Take out your ace attack. Otherwise the battle will be over soon. Sikong Shing also stepped on a huge rock in the sky, increasing the distance between him and Yi-Chin. As you wish. Immortal Sky-Shattering Clouds. Performing his separating shadow flying art, Yi-Chin left the huge rock within a second, jumping into the area where Sikong Shing was. He was in the sky, throwing down a sword attack accompanied by a thunder light. Boom, 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 boom. There were still a lot of huge rocks that had not hit the ground yet, still being thrown into the air. However, under Yi-Chen's sword attack, they all exploded into pieces. Countless muddy yellow fireworks bloomed in the sky, looking extremely spectacular. Break for me. Sikong Shing performed his sky-shattering fist art again. That aggressive fist power shattered the incoming sword chi time after time. His body flashed once as if he had completely ignored the distance. He suddenly appeared in front of Yi-Chin, throwing out a punch that went through the air. Watch out! Some of the disciples from the Sky Cloud Martial School screamed. Sikong Shing's step art was extremely horrifying. It was like he was moving in a second, making it impossible for people to react. Yi-Chin smiled lightly as he put up his left hand's index and middle fingers, pointing out in the air. The bright blue sword chi shot out of his fingers, cutting through the surreal space. Sword chi coming out of his body? The fist power had been cancelled out, and Sikong Shing hurried to back out a couple of steps. In the next second, another beam of sword chi shot over. Although he had dodged fast, it still scratched his thigh, causing blood to pour out. In the sky, the elder who was standing on the back of the thunder beast frowned. He had expected to see a one-sided battle, but this Yi-Chin was way more powerful than he had imagined. He had managed to tie with Sikong Shing in the previous battle, and now he had revealed another sword chi attack that had shot out from his fingers, forcibly gaining the upper hand. Losing 2 beams of green lotus sword chi and still not gaining the upper hand. It seems like the gap between the realms of the martial arts is not that easy to make up for. Yi-Chin could tell that Sikong Sheng's martial art had improved again. He estimated it to be around the 12th level, while his green lotus sword spell was only at the peak of the 9th level. Since it was a martial art suitable for sword artists, its power was equivalent to the 10th level. Combined with the 70% sword intent, it could barely break through Sikong Sheng's half-step protective Zhenyuan layer. However, it still wasted a little bit of time. Otherwise, with such a close distance, the green lotus sword chi would not have missed. If the green lotus sword spell had reached the 10th level, the 3 beams of green lotus sword chi would become 6, and then it would be much easier to win. The green lotus sword spell was divided into 15 levels. The 7th level could produce 3 beams of green lotus sword chi, the 10th level would produce 6 beams, and the 13th level would produce 9 beams. Once it reached the 14th level, the green lotus sword chi would transform into the lotus heart sword chi. Right now, Yi-Chin was at the peak of the 9th level, and he had only produced 3 beams of green lotus sword chi. Glancing at the wound on his thigh, Sikong Sheng's eyes looked extremely serious. Yi-Chen's improvement was out of his expectation. He could not believe that Yi-Chen could still grow even stronger. Although he still had an unfinished ace attack that he had not performed yet, Yi-Chen also had an ace attack. He would never forget the last battle of the Hidden Dragon rank, when Yi-Chen had broken through his fist power with one sword attack and defeated him. Do not hold back anymore. Use the secret skill that can increase your battling power. The elder on the Thunder Beast suddenly said. Sikong Shing nodded. Yi-Chen, if this is all you have, then you will lose for sure. This time I did not come here just to improve my power. Chapter 301. Yuan Magnetic Battle Body. The half-step protective Zhen Yuan around Sikong Sheng shrunk suddenly, sticking to the surface of his skin. It was similar to Tua Baku's defensive martial art, but the only difference was that the half-step Zhen Yuan on the surface of Sikong Sheng's body seemed to be covered with a layer of magnetic light, with tiny electric sparks flashing. The powerful attraction and repulsion power intertwined together, forming a very chaotic power field. This is a magnetic field? Yi Chen's pupils shrank. On Sikong Sheng's body, he sensed a completely different power field compared to Murong Qingqing's. The half-step Zhen Yuan started to vibrate at an extremely high speed. Sikong Sheng could feel that his power had increased by more than 30%. It was like he could blow up a 1,000 meters tall mountain with one punch, and kill a warrior at the same level with one finger attack. Secret skills that could increase the battling power were extremely rare in this true spirit continent. Even the rank 6 martial institutions did not have such powerful secret skills. The Floating Mountain School did not have them before, but they did have the Yuan Magnetic Godly Iron, which contained an extremely powerful magnetic power. Inside the floating mountain, there was a small piece of Yuan Magnetic Godly Iron essence, which contained extremely condensed magnetic power. According to the special effect of the Yuan Magnetic Godly Iron, the powerful warriors of the Floating Mountain School had spent a lot of effort to create a secret skill that could increase the battling power. Training this secret skill would not increase the battling power by itself. One would need to go inside the floating mountain and absorb a part of the magnetic power from the Yuan Magnetic Godly Iron essence, then bind it inside the body and use it together with this secret skill. Because it was incomplete, the secret skill had a time limit. Once the magnetic power binding inside the body was used up, the battling power increasing effect would disappear as well. This time, before going to the Sky Cloud Martial School to challenge Yi Chen, Sikong Sheng had made a lot of preparations. Training the Yuan magnetic battle body and absorbing the magnetic power was one of his preparations, which was also the source of his confidence to win against Yi Chen. Fist Tyrant River. Without performing his Sky Tyrant Fist art, Sikong Sheng had only performed one ace attack. The aggressive power was like the air exploding, shaking the sky. An unparalleled pressure shot out, leaving a dozens of meters long and 3 to 4 meters wide vacuum mark in the air. Boom. The place where Yi Chen was exploded violently. The powerful vibration had triggered the electric current, making a sizzling sound. What a fierce fist force. Yi Chen's body turned into black smoke and disappeared with the wind. When he reappeared, he was already hundreds of meters away. Looking at Sikong Sheng's fist power, his expression turned serious. You can't escape. The Yuan magnetic battle body had boosted Sikong Sheng's speed to its limit. His feet slightly stepped out, and his whole body appeared right in front of Yi Chen within a second. His huge fists, which were covered by the dark blue gloves, shone with a chilling cold light and electric current as he threw out a punch. The air exploded again. The edges of Yi Chen's black smoke twisted slightly. A corner of the blue robe shattered into pieces. Kill? Naturally, Yi Chen would not be at a disadvantage. While he was moving, he turned around and slashed with his sword. The sword chi that was hundreds of feet long was like a giant axe that could split the sky. Sikong Sheng did not bother to dodge as he threw out a punch at the sword chi. With a cracking sound, the sword chi exploded. The extremely high frequency of vibration quickly exhausted the immortal will contained in the sword chi, and it could no longer hold on for even a moment. Brother Yi has fallen into a disadvantage. The situation is not looking good. What can he do? Sikong Sheng has a secret art to increase his battling power, but Brother Yi does not. A rank 6 martial institution is indeed powerful. They even have a secret art to increase their battling power. Even if Brother Yi loses, it will not be because of his power. Hearing his disciples' discussion, Luo Xinglia's eyebrows frowned deeply. Yi Chen being able to get the upper hand in the beginning was already out of his expectation. He did not expect the situation to change so drastically. Sikong Sheng had used a secret art to increase his battling power. In this case, if Yi Chen wanted to win, he would have to use the secret art that he had used when fighting against the astral-reaching realm warriors. Thinking up to here, Luo Xinglia glanced at the core master of the Floating Mountain Martial School who was standing on top of the Thunder Beast, feeling a bit worried. Whatever you have, use it all. I will shatter it one by one and let you admit your defeat. After shattering another incoming sword chi, Sikong Sheng floated in the air. His cold eyes locked onto Yi Chen, looking for the best opportunity to attack. His body flashed without any pattern. Yi Chen thought to himself, one kill heart sword attack. No, he must have a more powerful ace attack waiting for me. If I use it now, it will only hurt my spirit and will waste my battling power. The minor blood demon body separating great art would not work either. It was not the time to expose it yet. Once he used it, it would be troublesome if something happened. The elder on top of the thunder beast had scared him a lot. Then let's use the mysterious Zhen Yuan. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chen sunk his spirit into his dantian and quickly touched a drop of mysterious Zhen Yuan inside the Zhen Qi spiral, trying to pull it out. Not good. I can't pull out the mysterious Zhen Yuan. Although he looked calm, Yi Chen was shocked inside. He thought that even if he had trained the Green Lotus Zhen Qi, he would still be able to use the mysterious Zhen Yuan. But he did not expect it to go wrong. The mysterious Zhen Yuan did not listen to his command at all. It only shook a couple of times before it disappeared completely. Kill. Although there was no expression on Yi Chen's face, Xikong Sheng could tell that something was wrong from his movements. He took the chance immediately and threw out his fist, conquering the mountains. The surreal space tightened, and Yi Chen was trapped within it. The fist power that came after landed right in the middle of that area, fast and violent like thunder. Dong. The air vibrated like water, and the trees nearby started to fall down one after another. The blade-like chi flow tore the ground apart, bringing up waves of dirt. On a small mountain far away, Yi Chen looked down at his torn sleeves with a serious look on his face. It seemed like he would have to use his minor blood demon body separating great art this time. Ah, Yi Chen, why don't you use that sword attack? I will give you one more chance. If you don't use it now, I will beat you instantly. There was still more than half of the magnetic power inside his body, so Xikong Sheng was not worried about the possibility of his Yuan magnetic battle body running out. In the last battle of the Hidden Dragon rank, he had lost to Yi Chen's ace attack. Therefore this time he wanted to beat Yi Chen, who had performed his ace attack. Raising his head to look at Xikong Sheng, Yi Chen had a cold look on his face. A secret art that can increase battling power? I have it as well. Since you want me to use all of my power, then you should be prepared for the worst. Crack. The small mountain cracked open. Blood-red chi flow shot up into the sky, dyeing Yi Chen's clothes, hair, eyebrows and pupils all red. His whole body looked like a bloody battle god, standing on top of the collapsing small mountain. His chi and blood are burning. This is. On the back of the thunder beast, the core master of the floating mountain martial school's expression changed. Luo Xinglia shook his head. He had used it after all. Oh well, it's better than being beaten by Xikong Sheng. On the cloud-drifting peak, Thunder Freer forced a smile, hoping that the core master of the floating mountain martial school would not ask about the origin of the minor blood demon body separating great art. Otherwise, even with the power of the Sky Cloud martial school, they would not be able to compete with him. A late astral-reaching realm warrior from a rank 6 martial school was not something a normal late astral-reaching realm warrior could compete with. Without exaggerating, even 10 of him would be seeking death. Cloud Dreamer said hesitantly, I think there should be no big problem. The true spirit continent is extremely complicated. It is hard to avoid some secret martial arts. Even if this martial art is from Master Blood Demon, it should not link Yi Chen and Master Blood Demon together. I hope so. Thunder Freer had a bad feeling about this. His chi and blood were burning, and his Green Lotus Zhen Qi was boiling. Yi Chen's battling power had increased drastically, and soon reached more than 50%. That kind of extremely violent power had ignited his battling intent. 2 beams of blood-red light shot out of his pupils, sharp like swords. Cut. His feet stomped on the ground, and the speed of the hill collapsing increased by 10 times. The powerful vibrating power had blown Yi Chen away, dragging a sharp red chi flow behind him. His body was like a sword, and his battling intent was like a sword. Yi Chen lifted up his Star Scar sword in the air and threw out a sword attack towards Xikong Sheng. Blood-red lightning flew everywhere. A twisting blood-red sword light tore open the air, creating a pitch-black vacuum tunnel. Sky-breaking fist. Xikong Sheng roared, pushing his Yuan magnetic battle body to its limit. Electric currents covered his whole body as he threw out a killing attack. Crack. Out of nowhere, dark clouds gathered above the mountains. A beam of lightning struck down, hitting right where the two had clashed. The balance had been broken, and Yi Chen had been blown out dozens of meters. His feet had left piles of blood-red patterns in the air. Compared to Yi Chen, Xikong Sheng had backed out for almost 100 meters. The advantages and disadvantages of the Yuan magnetic battle body and the minor blood demon body separating great art were obvious. What kind of secret skill is this? A shocked expression flashed through Xikong Sheng's face. He had experienced the power of the Yuan magnetic battle body, but his opponent's secret skill seemed to be even more powerful than the Yuan magnetic battle body. It was almost as brutal as burning his Zhen Yuan. Taking a quick breath, Xikong Sheng forcefully pushed his half-step Zhen Yuan, combining it with the magnetic power created by the essence of Yuan magnetic godly iron. He pushed his Yuan magnetic battle body even more violently. Electric currents appeared on his pitch-black hair, making a sizzling sound. Didn't you want to see my ace attack? Then I will show you. Stopping his backing out, the blood-red qi flow on Yi Chen's body suddenly expanded, looking like a burning blood-colored flame. He raised his star scar sword with both of his hands, pouring his mind into it along with his sword intent. He threw out a sword attack. The sword qi was like a pillar, piercing through the surreal space and arriving in front of Xikong Sheng within a second. Break. Sky breaking, earth cracking. An electric current flashed through the surface of his pupils. Xikong Sheng stood in the surreal space steadily. The air behind him continued to shatter, creating cracks in the vacuum space. A heaven-shattering poetic perspective spread out along with the powerful fist aura of the mysterious sky tyrant fist, shattering everything. Kalala. After throwing out a fist attack, the mountain behind him could not handle the huge counterforce of his ace attack. It shook a little before shattering all of a sudden, causing dust to rise into the sky. It was almost within a second that the fist power and the sword qi clashed together, freezing right there. The sky was covered in dark clouds, thunder and lightning were everywhere. Countless lightning bolts struck down crazily, breaking the rocks and lighting up the trees. All of the Sky Cloud Martial School's disciples who were watching the battle were shocked. They had never seen such a powerful clasping Yuan realm warrior before, and they might not be able to see one again in their lives. Chapter 302. A weird cloth-tearing sound was heard. The Kill Heart Sword Qi, which contained the immortal mentality and sword intent, brutally pierced through Xikong Sheng's fist power, leaving behind a sharp and long pitch-black sword mark in the air. It then landed on Xikong Sheng's chest with an unstoppable force, blowing him away. However, although the sword qi had pierced through the fist power, the aftermath of the exploding fist power still tore apart the air, creating layers of vacuum cracks. Countless vacuum cracks combined together, looking like a vacuum balsam flower blooming towards Yi Chen. The range of the vacuum cracks was way too big. Even with his separating shadow art, Yi Chen could not avoid all of them. Without panicking, Yi Chen put up his left index and middle fingers, and the last green lotus sword qi shot out of his body, destroying one of the incoming vacuum cracks. As the vacuum cracks disappeared, Yi Chen looked in front of him. There was a collapsed hill and a human-shaped crack could be vaguely seen. Boom. The hill exploded, and Xikong Sheng rushed out with blood dripping out of the corner of his mouth. Stepping on the ground, Xikong Sheng quickly calmed down his boiling qi and blood and his half-step Zhen Yuan. This time he was able to block out the Kill Heart Sword qi. Besides the fact that his fist power had cancelled out most of the power, it was also thanks to the chaotic force field created by his Yuan magnetic battle body, which had reduced the stability and destructive power of the Kill Heart Sword qi. Of course, the half-step Zhen Yuan on the surface of his body was also one of his defensive methods, which was 30 to 40% more powerful than the normal half-step protective Zhen Yuan. Your ace attack can't do anything to me anymore. Plus, it seems like this sword attack can't be used too much. Let me see what other ace attacks you have this time. Winning or losing was very important to Xikong Sheng, and the luck that had been taken away was also very important. Xikong Sheng had never thought of giving up until the last second. The ground was cracked as Xikong Sheng shot up into the sky. His tightly clenched fist was covered in electricity as he threw out a punch, shaking up the entire sky. Then I will show you a new killer move, Green Lotus Sky. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chen's eyes were as calm as an ancient well. The Green Lotus Zhen Qi inside his body had been pushed to its limit, pouring into his palm and into the Star Scar sword in a mysterious way. An extremely sharp blue qi flow appeared on the Star Scar sword, which then condensed into countless illusory blue lotuses. Whoosh. The sword attack seemed slow, but it was actually fast. The air strangely calmed down, as if the raging river had turned into a lake with no waves at all. On the surface of the lake, different-sized green lotuses started to grow at a speed faster than human eyes could see, which was exactly the same as the scene in the Hidden Dragon Secret Realm. Xikong Sheng's powerful fist power entered the lake and seemed to have encountered a huge obstacle. Its speed became slower and slower, and its sharpness became fainter and fainter. Those green lotuses that were close to his fist power were like sharp swords that had been taken out of their sheaths, flying out one after another, turning into blue-colored sword chi and shooting out. What happened next was even more horrifying. The lake had been stimulated by the fist power and started to expand at an extreme speed, dragging Sikong Sheng into it. Countless green lotuses turned into sword chi and hacked on his body crazily, burning out the magnetic power and half-step Zhenyuan inside his body. What kind of sword movement is this? Sikong Sheng was deep in the lake-like area, trying his best to defend against the endless sword chi that was shooting towards him. The magnetic power inside his body was decreasing at a much faster rate than before. If it continued like this, the Yuan magnetic battle body's effect would disappear completely. Green Lotus accumulation cut. The Green Lotus Sky was the ace attack of the Green Lotus sword art. It worked perfectly with the Green Lotus Jin Chi, which was extremely mysterious. The immortal mentality contained in the sword intent seemed to have a nourishing effect on this ace attack, making the air even more stable like a calm lake. Feeling the Green Lotus Jin Chi inside his body being consumed at an extremely fast speed, Yi Chen did not dare to waste any time. He flicked his sword tip, lifting up the edge of the lake in the air. The next second, hundreds of green lotuses floated up in the air, merging together and forming into a huge green lotus. There were light purple lotuses on top of the green lotuses, surrounded by beams of blue chi flow, looking like blades. Boom. The huge green lotus spun a couple of times before attacking towards Sikong Sheng. The consumption of the magnetic power had greatly decreased Sikong Sheng's defense, and the huge green lotus formed by the sharp chi flow was even more horrifying than the kill heart sword chi. It had broken through his defense instantly, shattering his half-step Zhenyuan. As the remaining magnetic power leaked out, Sikong Sheng could no longer handle the power. He puked out a 3-meter-tall blood column, then was blown backward like a shooting star. Sheng, The elder's face was dark like water. He controlled his Huang Thunder Beast to catch Sikong Sheng and put him on the back of the beast. He then turned around slowly, his expression changing continuously as he stared at Yi Chen. As one of the core masters of the Floating Mountain Martial School, the elder's name was Jin Huang, and people called him Jin Huang. He was extremely famous in the Grey Mystery Nation, and all the warriors from the Grey Mystery Nation would be scared when they saw him. The head disciple of his martial school had been beaten. No matter how good his temper was, he would still be a bit angry, not to mention that he was not a good-tempered person himself. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chen released his minor blood demon body separating great art. As the minor blood demon body separating great art was released, Yi Chen's spirit seemed to have dropped a lot. However, a stream of chi that was extremely hard to detect had been injected into his body through the air, making his condition much better. This is the Dragon Fountain Chi? Of course, he knew what Sikong Sheng's intention was. It was nothing more than to decide the winner and take back a part of the Dragon Fountain Chi. Although this was not a hidden dragon rank competition, if he lost he would still lose a part of the Dragon Fountain Chi. Luckily, it would not be as exaggerated as the hidden dragon rank competition, since luck was something that was constantly changing. This time, if Sikong Sheng beat him, he would lose a part of the Dragon Fountain Chi without a doubt. The Dragon Fountain Chi was equivalent to luck, but of course luck was not necessarily the Dragon Fountain Chi. Cloud Dreamer, who had always been quiet, appeared right next to Yi Chen. He laughed at Jin Huang. This year's young generation is indeed different. You have really opened my eyes. I am the great master of the Sky Cloud Martial School, Cloud Dreamer. I wonder who you are? Jin Huang said coldly, You do not need to know my name. But I have a question. What you have performed is the minor blood demon body separating great art. The last sentence was directed at Yi Chen. Cloud Dreamer's expression changed suddenly. The last thing he wanted to see had happened after all. He hurried to say, Yi Chen used to be a disciple of our Sky Cloud Martial School. Now he has become a master. He had some strange encounters in the past and had gotten some messy martial arts and secret martial arts. Shut up. Jin Huang interrupted Cloud Dreamer and yelled at Yi Chen, I am asking you, are you training the minor blood demon body separating great art? So what if I am? So what if I am not? Yi Chen knew that there was no way for this to end well. His opponent was obviously targeting him. Even if he did not perform the minor blood demon body separating great art, he could not guarantee that there would not be any other problems. Jin Huang sneered, How dare you? Do you know how many people of our Floating Mountain Martial School had been killed by Master Blood Demon? How many elders had died in his hands? Under such circumstances, you still dare to train the infamous minor blood demon body separating great art? Are you not putting our floating mountain martial school in your eyes? What a big accusation. Yi Chen said, which martial art in this true spirit continent has not been stained with blood and life? Are all martial arts unusable? You still dare to talk back? You are courting death. Without giving Yi Chen any chance to speak, Jin Huang put his finger on his thumb and flicked out a beam of golden light. Don't go too far. Cloud Dreamer roared, burning his Zhen Yuan all of a sudden. He blocked in front of Yi Chen and threw out a sword attack toward the finger light. At the same time, Thunder Freer also arrived. Nobody knew when he had already burned his Zhen Yuan, but he had also thrown out a claw attack toward the golden finger light. As the target of the opponent, how could Yi Chen just stand by and watch? He did not care that performing the minor blood demon body separating great art again would bring a huge damage to his body. His chi and blood burned fiercely as he coughed out a chunk of blood and threw out a kill heart sword attack. Rumble. The three of them were in their strongest state, but Taoist Jin Huang's strength was not something they could resist even if they joined forces. Even a wisp of his finger light could easily shatter their defenses and send them flying hundreds of meters away, coughing up 3 feet of blood. Walking down from the back of the thunder beast, Jin Huang stood in the midair with a cold look in his eyes. You three want to fight against me? You are courting death. Right now I will give you a chance and a chance to live. Hand over the minor blood demon body separating great art and break your own arms and legs. Then I will let this matter go. Otherwise I will kill the whole Sky Cloud Martial School. As soon as he said that, everyone in the Sky Cloud Martial School turned pale. They believed that Jin Huang could do it. A late astral-reaching realm warrior from a rank 6 martial school was extremely powerful. Even a normal late astral-reaching realm warrior would not be able to survive against him, not to mention them. Some of the people who had just joined had already started to run. Compared to their lives, the honor of the martial school was too far away from them. It was not worth it at all. Even if I, Cloud Dreamer, die, I will make you suffer for 3 days. Breaking their own arms and legs would be the same as cutting off their martial path, which would be even more painful than death. Cloud Dreamer, Thunder Freer, and Yi Chen were all ready to fight to the death, especially Cloud Dreamer. The burning Zhen Yuan outside of his body had become extremely unstable, showing signs of exploding. A horrifying chi spread out everywhere. Yi Chen, who was bleeding from every orifice, blocked in front of Cloud Dreamer. He was the one who started all of this, so he should be the one risking his life. He had already died once, so what if he died again? Come out. Coughing out a piece of internal organ, Yi Chen crazily pushed his green lotus Zhen Qi, trying to draw out the mysterious Zhen Yuan from the Zhen Qi spiral. It seemed to be affected by Yi Chen's crazy emotions, as the mysterious Zhen Yuan that had been silent for a long time started to wriggle. The frequency was getting higher and higher, and the vibration was getting bigger and bigger. A wave of Zhen Yuan spread out, along with a violent unstable element. It was because the mysterious Zhen Yuan was not pure, as 10% of it was green lotus Zhen Yuan. Since you want to die, then don't blame me. Jin Huang's eyes were filled with killing intent as he pointed out his finger again. Oh. It was not Yi Chen who puked out blood but Su Jing. Her body was slightly slim, and her white clothes were stained with blood. Both of her arms were hanging down as if she had lost her bones. Chapter 303. Just like Yi Chen, Su Jing had chosen to go into closed-door training not long after she got back from the Hidden Dragon Ancient City. Because the battle between Yi Chen and Xikong Sheng was way too loud, she decided to come out and see what was going on. When she arrived, the battle between Yi Chen and Xikong Sheng had already ended. Jin Huang's aggressiveness had alerted her secretly, so she rushed over to help Yi Chen. Jin Huang had trained a gold element martial art. Even a casual finger attack from him would have the ability to break through anything. It had easily pierced through Su Jing's defense, breaking the bones in her arms inch by inch. It had all happened too fast. The mysterious Zhen Yuan inside Yi Chen's body had just been drawn out of his dantian. If he moved even a little bit, it would be all for naught. He could only watch Su Jing being blown hundreds of meters away. The good thing was that Zhu Mei had already caught up, blocking in front of Su Jing. Blood explosion spell, green lotus sky. With an angry growl, the bloody red Jin Qi outside of Yi Chen's body exploded violently. It was the most powerful ace attack of the minor blood demon body separating great art, and it also had the biggest backfire. Even Yuan Zhongbo did not dare to use it because once he used it, there was a 90% chance that he would be crippled, and a 30% chance of dying completely. It was extremely dangerous. Correspondingly, after using the blood explosion spell, Yi Chen's battling power had increased again, reaching more than 80%. It was almost the same as burning his Zhen Yuan to increase his battling power. Not only that, the mysterious Zhen Yuan that had been poured into the meridians in his right arm had also been dyed red by the spell. In other words, the second he used the mysterious Zhen Yuan, Yi Chen's basic power would be similar to an early astral reaching realm warrior. Combined with the 70% sword intent and the ace attack from the Green Lotus sword art, it would be possible for him to kill a mid-astral reaching realm warrior. As for a late astral reaching realm warrior, the result would be revealed soon. The Star Scar sword in his hand was as heavy as a mountain. Yi Chen threw out a sword attack that looked slow but was actually fast. The boiling air calmed down at an unnatural speed, turning into a dead silence. Then, countless green lotuses with a hint of red appeared, covering the entire sky. Humph, you dare to show off your insignificant skills in front of me? Break. Taoist Jin Huang snorted coldly. He raised his palm horizontally and slapped the void. A golden brilliance condensed into a giant palm, tearing apart the stagnant air, tearing apart countless green lotuses, and opening up a pitch-black vacuum passage. The vacuum passage seemed to contain a great gravitational force, sucking in everything around it. Puff. Yi Chen's 7 orifices were bleeding, and his body reeked of blood. Right then Yi Chen's body suddenly shook. His Green Lotus sword spell, which had been stuck at the peak of the 9th realm, had suddenly reached the 10th realm under the great pressure. At the same time, his cultivation had also made great progress. Not only had he reached the peak level late clasping Yuan realm, but he was also not far away from being able to purify his Zhen Yuan. Yi Chen had finally understood that the more pressure there was, the more explosive power there would be. If he did not explode in silence, then he would die in silence. Green Lotus accumulation cut. Without showing any excitement, Yi Chen's eyes were resolute, locking onto Taoist Jin Huang like a hawk. Right then, his mysterious Zhen Yuan had already been poured into the Star Scar sword through the meridians in his arm. The Star Scar sword exploded with a bright light that could even dim the stars in the sky. Under the dazzling light, a fist-sized green lotus appeared on the tip of the sword. It was light purple in color, with strands of blood diamond-like chi flowing around its edge, easily cutting through the surreal space. As Yi Chen's sword hacked down, the fist-sized green lotus shot out at a horrifying speed, leaving a perfectly straight black line in the surreal space. The black line did not disappear for a long time, extending for hundreds of meters, as if it had divided the whole space into 2 parts, one above and one below. It was extremely creepy. Not good. How can this kid have Zhen Yuan? If it were only Zhen Yuan, Taoist Jin Huang would not even spare a glance, as he could turn the opponent into ashes with a flick of his finger. However, Yi Chen had just used the blood explosion spell, combining his Zhen Yuan with his chi and blood, which was equivalent to burning his Zhen Yuan. His basic strength had increased drastically. Not only that, Yi Chen was also a sword artist who had comprehended 70% sword intent. With the two added together, even a mid-astral reaching expert would have to suffer a grievance if they were careless. Moreover, he did not put the people from the Sky Cloud Martial School in his eyes at all, and had only used 50 to 60% of his Zhen Yuan, not to mention burning his Zhen Yuan. The current him could not even compare to a mid-astral reaching expert with his protective Zhen Yuan. If he were hit by this sword, even if he did not die, he would be crippled. The speed of the Green Lotus was too fast. Taoist Jin Huang did not have the time to thicken his protective Zhen Yuan, so he could only raise his right middle finger and point out. Gold Bright Finger. Gold Bright Finger was Taoist Jin Huang's famous martial art. Even if he used 50 to 60% of his strength, its might was not something an ordinary astral reaching expert could compare with. Shoo. The golden light streaked across the sky, colliding with the unceasingly revolving Green Lotus. There was no sound, nor any sound or light effect. The two tightly stuck together without any sound or presence, as if they were two magnets. Everyone was somewhat unable to adapt. It was as if they clearly knew that thunder was about to strike, and they could already see the flickering of thunder and lightning, and they had already made all the preparations. Yet, when the lightning struck down, there was not the slightest sound of thunder, which was rather unbearable. It might have been an instant or it might have been a long time. With a loud bang, a dazzling radiance soared into the sky, tearing apart the black clouds in the sky, tearing apart the thunder and lightning, unceasingly spurting out firepower. At first glance, it looked like a fan-shaped light screen, the starting point of which was precisely the point where the golden light and green lotus collided. With a loud bang, Yi Qin and Taoist Jin Huang were both blown back. The difference was that Yi Qin was blown back while spurting out blood, and his body seemed to have lost a lot of weight, becoming as thin as a stick. On the other hand, Taoist Jin Huang's face was slightly pale, and he slid back several hundred meters in the sky without any injuries. The gap between the two was too big. Even if Yi Qin had surpassed his limits and burst out with the most powerful attack of his life, a gap was still a gap. Compared to Taoist Jin Huang, who had hastily counterattacked, he was still not his opponent. However, being able to push Taoist Jin Huang back several hundred meters was enough to prove Yi Qin's strength. Sky-shattering strike. Sky Thunder Strike. Cloud Dreamer and Thunder Freer bit their tongues, trying their best to recover from their absent-minded state. Their Zhen Yuan, which had been pushed to its peak, poured out without any regard for their lives, and performed their most powerful martial arts, attacking Taoist Jin Huang, who had just stabilized his body. Victory or defeat would be decided in this one move. No matter how many ants there are, they are still ants. This time, you will all die, and the Sky Cloud Martial School will be completely destroyed as well. Yi Qin's frontal attack had made Taoist Jin Huang's blood boil. He had to hold back his blood for a long time before he could swallow it back down. Seeing Cloud Dreamer and Thunder Freer seize this opportunity to attack him, Taoist Jin Huang was instantly enraged. He did not care about the fact that forcefully increasing his Zhen Yuan would bring a huge burden to his body, and threw out two-finger attacks with 70% of his Zhen Yuan. Although Cloud Dreamer and Thunder Freer's attacks were not as powerful as Yi Qin's attack, they should not be underestimated. However, this time Taoist Jin Huang had used 70% of his Zhen Yuan, which was not something that the finger attack from before could compare with. Without any suspense, the two attacks had been shattered. Cloud Dreamer laughed bitterly. "Brother Thunder, please take away all the people that you can, especially Yi Qin. Leave a route for our Sky Cloud Martial School, a lifeline. Do not let our last hope die. Otherwise I, Cloud Dreamer, will not be able to face all the previous leaders of the Sky Cloud Martial School. I will not be satisfied even if I die." The last sentence was almost yelled out by Cloud Dreamer. Thunder Freer's expression changed. "Cloud Dreamer, what are you doing? Hurry up. There is no time. I will use my last drop of blood to stall him." Cloud Dreamer was already extremely unstable. His exploding Zhen Yuan had been completely messed up, and he could no longer calm himself down. His whole body was like a container filled with gunpowder, ready to explode at any second. Thunder Freer shook his head and sighed. He was ready to die as he said to Cloud Dreamer, "There is no more chance." Cloud Dreamer followed Thunder Freer's gaze and saw Yi Qin, who was covered in blood, flying back. His robe was stained with blood and so was his hair. "Senior Cloud Dreamer, Senior Thunder Freer, I know what you are thinking, but I can't back out and I can't run away. If I were to sacrifice the whole Sky Cloud Martial School for my life, then what would be the point of me staying alive? The scary heart demon will stop me from reaching the life and death realm for the rest of my life, and I will not live up to your expectations. I do not want to carry such a heavy burden. Since the day I, Yi Qin, picked up my sword, I have never thought about running away, and I have never thought about letting someone else die for me. This is all because of me, and I will be the one to end it. You don't need to try to persuade me, I have made up my mind." As he spoke, Yi Qin took out a huge amount of blood sunflowers and swallowed them. He then performed his blood explosion spell without caring about his own life. Right then, his mind had never been this resolute, and his will had never been this strong. The sword intent kept rising up into the sky, and it seemed to be endless. Such a horrifying sword intent had already surpassed his body's limit, and his skin started to crack. Peak 70% sword intent. No, it should be 80% sword intent. Jin Huang gasped as he screamed in his mind. This kid can't be left alive, or he will become a huge threat. Right now he was already scared. If he could not kill Yi Qin today, he would have nightmares for the rest of his life. A lot of Sky Cloud Martial School's female disciples started crying, while the male disciples' eyes became more and more determined. "Wu Ming, I want to go up and fight. What do you think?" Zhang Haoran, who was only at the peak of late condensing reality realm, took a step forward and flew into the sky. Wu Ming laughed out loud. "Zhang Haoran, don't look down on me. Do you think I, Wu Ming, am afraid of death?" Unknowingly, all of the Sky Cloud Martial School's disciples had gathered together. Those who could fly stood next to Cloud Dreamer and the rest, while those who couldn't stood on the ground. At this moment, The Sky Cloud Martial School was unprecedentedly united and powerful. Everyone's mind naturally gathered together, eventually turning into a fighting spirit that would rather die than surrender. "Zhu Mei, let's go up." Being held in Zhu Mei's arms weakly, Su Jing said in a low voice. Zhu Mei had tears in her eyes as she slightly nodded. Lu Hanshan chuckled, but no one knew what he was laughing about. They only knew that his smile was bright and gentle as he flew into the sky together with Zhu Mei. Looking at the crowd of Sky Cloud Martial School's disciples, Jin Huang was in a bad mood. He had never seen a situation like this before. In his mind, the Sky Cloud Martial School should be in a desperate situation. "Then all of you die," Jin Huang roared out. His Zhen Yuan started to burn fiercely, and an extremely horrifying aura swept out, condensing into a hurricane that tore the ground apart and collapsed mountains. That golden fiery light looked like a golden sun. Golden sun splitting. An extremely condensed light ball condensed on his fingertip. Jin Huang believed that once this light ball exploded, no matter how many people there were, they would all die. Sigh. Right at this moment, a sigh was heard. It seemed to be right next to everyone's ears, but also seemed to be far away from the sky. It kept lingering in the air and vibrating. Right after that, the gray sky suddenly cleared up. In everyone's sight, a mountain-sized huge hand pressed down, covering the sun and the sky. The fingerprint on the palm was so clear that even the heaven and earth were shaken. Chapter 304. Retracting his finger, Taoist Jin Huang's eyes widened as he roared, "Impossible! How could Sky Cloud Martial School have this kind of background? Impossible. Who are you? Why are you meddling in this matter? My Floating Mountain Martial School has no enmity with you. Please don't do anything." Taoist Jin Huang couldn't sense the aura of the owner of the huge hand at all. Therefore there were only two possibilities. First, the opponent had entered the Sea of Soul's realm, and his Zhen Yuan had turned into an ocean, returning to the origin. Second, the opponent had entered the even more frightening life and death realm. Once one entered the life and death realm, the difference between heaven and earth would be completely different. Regardless of which possibility it was not something that Taoist Jin Huang could contend against. The former was still manageable, since at least the Floating Mountain School had Sea of Souls realm warriors, and not just one or two of them. However, if it was the latter, then the entire Floating Mountain School would not even be able to withstand one finger of the opponent. Life and death realm warriors were called kings, and it was not without reason. They were the kings of the martial artists, and represented the world's will of the true spirit continent. Without life and death realm warriors, no matter how powerful one was, it would be useless. The speed of the huge hand was not that fast, as if its owner was not serious. However, in Taoist Jin Huang's eyes, the sky was no longer the sky, and the earth was no longer the earth. The mountains behind Sky Cloud Martial School were all under the control of the huge hand. Seeing that the opponent had no intention of stopping, Taoist Jin Huang's heart was filled with boundless fear. Not caring about the Huang Thunder Beast and Xikong Sheng, he extended his body and flew away at an extreme speed. With a flicker, he appeared 7 to 8 li away, like a small sun that was constantly jumping. Humph! With a cold snort, the thumb and index finger of the sky-covering hand began to close together. When it was only 10 feet away, the fleeing Taoist Jin Huang seemed to have walked right into a trap. He was imprisoned within, unable to move or even struggle. "I am not willing. These people are only ants. I will kill them if I want to." Taoist Jin Huang mustered his remaining strength, burning his Zhen Yuan fiercely, trying to escape. Everyone from the Sky Cloud Martial School was stupefied. The previously insufferably arrogant Taoist Jin Huang was currently being clamped by two sky-reaching fingers. His face was full of fright and anger, as if he was a headless fly, which brought a huge contrast to their vision. They all thought, who is the owner of this sky-covering hand? Even a late astral-reaching expert has been casually pinched by him. This level of strength is already not something that can be imagined. "Don't worry, I won't kill you with my own hands. You're not worth my life. Now, get the hell out of the Sky Cloud Martial School, get the hell out of the Windy Nation. If you dare to take another step forward in this life, you will die for sure. Also, go back and tell the leader of the Floating Mountain Sect that this is just a small warning. If he dares to offend you again, the Floating Mountain Sect will be destroyed, and the 10,000 years of foundation of the Azure Emperor and the Stone Emperor will be destroyed. Do you hear me?" Only Taoist Jin Huang could hear the voice of the owner of that sky-covering hand. However, it was not a human voice but the sound of the air vibrating. It was similar to Zhenqi sound transmission, but 10 times more advanced than Zhenqi sound transmission. Astral-reaching realm warriors would never be able to do it. You won't kill me? Daoist Jin Huang stopped struggling. He knew that no matter how hard he struggled, it would be useless. If the opponent wanted to kill him, it would only take a single thought. His evil eyes landed on Yi Chen's body. Daoist Jin Huang sneered inwardly, so it is not because of your backer. If you were, you would not let me go, because if you let me go, once Yi Chen leaves the Windy Nation, I would be able to hunt him down. Anyway, the owner of that sky-covering hand did not say that he was not allowed to kill Yi Chen. He only said that he was not allowed to enter the Windy Nation. It seems like the gods want you dead. Within 5 years, you will never have the power to fight against me. And if you want to continue growing, you will have to leave the Windy Nation. This is an endless cycle, there is only death. How about I let you go for now? Although Daoist Jin Huang was afraid of Yi Chen's potential, he did not think that Yi Chen would be able to surpass him within 5 years. There would be plenty of chances to kill him, there was no need to risk his own life. Senior, I promise that I will never step into the Windy Nation or the Sky Cloud Martial School for the rest of my life. Daoist Jin Huang said with a loud voice. The huge hand made of Yuan Qi loosened, and the air around Daoist Jin Huang's ears vibrated again. Piss off. I might change my mind at any time. Hearing him, Daoist Jin Huang's expression changed. He seemed to be afraid that the owner of the huge hand would change his mind and kill him for good. He hurriedly jumped onto the back of the thunder beast and commanded it to fly away. Within a blink of an eye, they disappeared into the clouds. You didn't kill him? It would be a lie if Cloud Dreamer and Thunder Freer said that they were not disappointed. Of course, they did not dare to complain about the owner of the huge hand. Without him, the Sky Cloud Martial School would have been completely destroyed. There would not have been a second possibility. A late astral-reaching realm warrior from a rank 6 martial school would already be considered as a top warrior in the whole South Rudra region. Under the Sea of Souls realm, he would be above hundreds of thousands of people. Not good. I can't control my Zhenyuan anymore. Although he had relaxed a bit, Cloud Dreamer still could not control his own Zhenyuan. Once his Zhenyuan exploded, there would be nothing left of him, and everything within 10 miles would be destroyed. This was a secret art that he had obtained by chance. Once he used it, there would be no way to change it. Thunder Freer noticed the aura that was about to explode from Cloud Dreamer's body, so he was shocked. Cloud Dreamer had told him about this secret art. This time he had to use it during the battle with Daoist Jin Huang. However, Daoist Jin Huang had already left, so his death would be meaningless. Something strange happened. One of the fingers of the huge hand reached out and lightly touched on Cloud Dreamer's protective Zhenyuan. The wind started to blow and the clouds disappeared. The next second, Cloud Dreamer's aura disappeared, and the Jade Destruction secret art returned to its original state. The explosive aura disappeared completely. Thank you, Senior. Cloud Dreamer cupped his fists and bowed toward the huge hand. The air vibrated. No need to thank me. Actually, I wanted to save Yi Chen. But Yi Chen's relationship with the Sky Cloud Martial School was too deep. This whole thing was caused by him. Senior, how can I not thank you? Cloud Dreamer obviously could not just say no, since the other had not only saved him but the entire Sky Cloud Martial School. Even if the other asked him to kill himself right now, he would do it. The Sky Cloud Martial School was in his hands, and this kind of feeling was not something normal people could understand. The owner of the huge hand did not say anything, and his voice moved to Yi Chen's ears. Are you wondering why I didn't kill Daoist Jin Huang? The blood explosion art disappeared automatically. Yi Chen's body was covered in blood as he said weakly, Senior, you should have your own plan. Yi Chen can guess a little bit. Tell me. Senior, you want me to take revenge myself and get rid of my inner demon. The air vibrated a bit unsteadily. You are right. I did have this intention. The path of a warrior is to overcome all obstacles, and no impurities can be tolerated. Today's incident had a great impact on you. If you could not kill Daoist Jin Huang yourself, it would be a huge hindrance to your cultivation. Plus, you are a sword artist who had comprehended the sword intent, so you could not back down. Killing Daoist Jin Huang was like helping you choose to back down. This is not what I want to see, nor is it what you want to see. Therefore you can take Daoist Jin Huang's life. As for whether you can kill him or not, it will depend on your own ability. I will not help you for the same thing twice. Yi Chen said, Thank you, Senior, for your help. I will kill Daoist Jin Huang with my own hands and no one can stop me. As for his death, it means that I am not qualified to step into a higher realm. Very good. I like your calmness. I hope you can keep it up. Do not be blinded by hatred. The path of a warrior is not just about hatred. Senior, you are? Don't ask and don't think about it. I will tell you when I need to. I have my reasons for not telling you, and it is also the reason why I did not show up. Yi Qin is too reckless. You are badly wounded. The minor blood demon body separating great art is not a secret skill for warriors. It is an incomplete secret skill created by the blood demon master based on the blood demon doppelganger. Without the doppelganger, every time you use it, you will lose your qi and blood. Normal medicines will not be able to help you recover completely. You will have to deal with this yourself. I will not give you any material help. Yi Qin knows. The minor blood demon body separating great art was a huge burden on the body. Although the qi and blood that was consumed could be replenished by the blood sunflower, the blood sunflower was not omnipotent. It could be used once or twice, but if it was used too many times, then it would have to be nurtured for a while. Otherwise, there would be a horrifying side effect. This time, in order to fight against Daoist Jin Huang, Yi Qin had even performed the ultimate skill of the minor blood demon body separating great art, the blood explosion great art. It was almost as powerful as the major blood demon body separating great art, but the side effect was extremely huge. If it were not for the fact that Yi Qin's body was extremely powerful, and that he had trained the pure jade body boosting spell to the 5th level, the King Kong jade body boosting spell, he would have been crippled even if he did not die. As for the help from the owner of the sky-covering palm, Yi Qin had never thought about it. Everyone's path of being a martial artist was right under their feet, and others would not be able to help them. If they helped him, then they might end up harming him instead. If one did not understand the pain, then how could one understand the sweetness after the pain? Of course, Yi Qin was not worried about the side effects, since he still had a 3,000 years old blood sunflower in his storage ring, which was 10 times more powerful than the 1,000 years old one. As long as his qi and blood did not run out, it would not be a big problem to get rid of the side effects. However, Su Jing's injury was giving him a headache. The broken bones in her arm and the broken bones in her arm were two completely different things. Without great treasures, it would be very hard to heal. He could imagine the pain of having a whole bone broken into countless pieces. The owner of the sky-covering palm seemed to have guessed Yi Qin's thoughts. I will not help that girl with the broken bones in her arm either. She is very talented and has a great chance to achieve great things in the future. This is not a bad thing for her. In fact, have you realized that the whole Sky Cloud Martial School has changed because of this? This is the rise of the Sky Cloud Martial School. It is the beginning of the Sky Cloud Martial School's rise. Yi Qin nodded. During that bloody battle, he was very touched by what people from the Sky Cloud Martial School had done. They were obviously very weak and could not help at all, but they still stood out without any hesitation, willing to live and die with the Sky Cloud Martial School. This kind of fearlessness was not something that a powerful martial school could achieve. He believed that in the future the Sky Cloud Martial School would definitely grow and become a super martial school in the South Rudra region. Since this is done, I will not stay any longer. Remember, the path of a martial artist is like sailing against the current. Only by keeping your heart will you be able to move forward. The sky-covering palm disappeared, and the voice disappeared slowly. Taking a deep breath, Yi Qin turned around to look at the crowd. In his sight, everyone was looking at him and he was also looking at them. The eye contact did not require words. This is my second home. As the thought flashed through his mind, Yi Qin raised his head and fell down from the sky. It was a miracle for him to be able to last until now. But now the miracle was over. Chapter 305. Shocking Cloud Peak. Inside a spacious room, Yi Qin, who was wrapped in bandages, crawled out of bed. He was already 18 years old, but he was no longer childish. His slightly skinny body was not weak at all. The tightly wrapped bandages showed his well-defined muscles, which were full of explosive power. It was as if his body was made of steel. He raised his arm, but it was still weak. This was a sign of excessive loss of qi and blood, and a great loss of vitality. Yi Qin shook his head and thought to himself, the blood explosion spell is too powerful. It made me unconscious for 7 days and 7 nights. Fortunately, my body was strong enough so I did not lose my qi and blood and my meridians were not destroyed. Otherwise it would not be easy to recover. Yi Qin had not used the 3,000-year-old blood sunflower yet, so he was not sure how effective it was. He planned to use it in a day or two when he was full of energy. Pushing open the door, Yi Qin came to the yard. The courtyard was no different from an ordinary family's courtyard. It wasn't too big and it wasn't extravagant either. Opposite it was a flower bed with dozens of beautiful flowers, including a few young blood sunflowers. Next to the flower bed was a row of sunflowers. They were taller than the courtyard wall, and they were in full bloom facing the blazing sun. Bang bang. After standing in the yard for a while, there was a knock on the door. Looking away, Yi-Chin said, "Come in." Creak. The yard door, which was not locked, opened. Zhang Haoren and Wu Zongming walked in. "Yi-Chin, are you all right?" It was Wu Zongming's first time coming to the shocking cloud peak. He looked around and found that other than the Great Elder's Hall, the other buildings were very ordinary. They could not even be considered as the mansion of an ordinary landlord. Yi-Chin smiled and said, "It's you too." "I'm all right." Wu Zongming laughed, "It's good that you're all right. I thought there would be some side effects." That day Yi-Chin looked too scary. He was covered in blood and his muscles were cracked. The loss of qi and blood made Wu Zongming wonder if Yi-Chin had that much qi and blood. At this moment Zhang Haoren said, "I'm here to apologize." "Apologize for what?" Yi-Chin was surprised. Wu Zongming interrupted, "He's a stubborn man. We had a grudge in the past and he always wanted to apologize. In my opinion, apologizing between men is too mushy. Besides, it's been so long. Why would we care about each other's frivolity when we were young?" 14 or 15 years old was the most impulsive age. At that age they were very competitive and aggressive. It was inevitable that there would be conflicts and friction. If they were not careful, they would become enemies. Fortunately, there was not much conflict between the three of them. They just disagreed with each other. Yi-Chin smiled. Wu Zongming is right. Everyone is frivolous. Zhang Haoren said seriously, "It's different this time. It's an official apology." "All right, I accept your apology." When dealing with a stubborn person, Yi-Chin could not be in a deadlock with him, so he accepted the other party's apology. The three of them drank some tea and chatted casually. After about an hour, the two of them bid farewell. As soon as Zhang Haoren and Wu Zongming left, Luo Hanshan, Zhu Mei and Su Jing arrived. "Yi-Chin, are you all right?" Luo Hanshan asked. "Except for a bit of weakness, I'm fine." Yi-Chin's wounds were actually quite serious. But of course, with the help of the 3,000 years old blood sunflower, it was indeed not a big deal. He looked at Su Jing and saw that her arms were wrapped in bandages, hanging weakly on her waist. Yi-Chin said gently, "Does it hurt?" Su Jing's face blushed slightly, "Not at all." Yi-Chin didn't say anything to express his gratitude. He knew that it would be too polite and she would not want to hear it either. True gratitude did not need to be expressed. As long as it was in his heart, it was enough. Taking out 10 800 years old blood sunflowers and 2,000 years old blood sunflowers from his storage ring, Yi-Chin said, "You are cultivating a body-strengthening art, which requires enough qi and blood. These blood sunflowers are very beneficial to your qi and blood, so don't say no." After saying that, he grabbed Su Jing's slim hand and put the blood sunflowers into her storage ring. Su Jing lowered her head and bit her lower lip. Seeing this, a smile appeared on Zhu Mei's face. It was a smile that contained a trace of envy. "Not good." Holding Su Jing's soft and boneless hand, Yi-Chin wanted to check her injury. Her arm was almost boneless and it was only connected by her qi and blood, so it was hard to describe how soft and boneless it was. If an ordinary martial artist were to suffer such a serious injury, they would basically be ruined for the rest of their lives. Fortunately, Su Jing had been cultivating a body-strengthening art, which gave her a powerful qi and blood. Therefore, the broken bones were healing at an almost imperceptible speed. However, if the bones were to heal on their own, it would take at least 3 to 5 years for them to fully recover. Moreover, even if they were fully healed, they would not be able to do any strenuous exercises, not to mention training martial arts. Frowning, Yi-Chin was thinking about going out to look for some natural treasures that could heal bones. Although these natural treasures were even rarer than the 3,000 years old blood sunflowers, they were still available. But of course it was not the right time yet. He was still too weak and he had a powerful enemy like Jin Huang. Without being fully prepared, he would not be able to leave the Windy Nation for the time being. Luo Hanshan winked at Yi-Chin and said, "Zhu Mei and I still have something to do. You guys go ahead, I'll come to see you when I have time." After saying that, he left the yard with Zhu Mei. Yi-Chin let out a bitter smile. Su Jing, who was sitting in front of him, had her head almost touching her chest. He had to find something to talk about, otherwise it would be very awkward. "Do you still remember that time when I came back from the Northwest auction house? I borrowed your hand to train my body-strengthening art?" After thinking for a while, Yi-Chin started talking about the past. "Yeah. Su Jing listened quietly. The sky was getting dark. Yi Chen walked Su Jing to the mountaintop where Yi Chen lived. The night passed without any words. The next afternoon, the room was filled with a bright blood-golden aura. This aura was extremely strong. With just a single sniff, Yi Chen would feel warm and refreshed. In Yi Chen's sight, there was a water tank-sized lump of mud on the floor of the room. The mud was completely covered by the blood-golden color and was slightly translucent. Through the translucent mud, Yi Chen could see a palm-sized blood sunflower growing in it. The blood sunflower had a rich blood-golden color. It looked like gold or jade. It was shining brightly. It's time for me to use you. Using his Jin Qi like a blade, Yi Chen cut open the mud and took out the 3,000 years old blood sunflower. Tearing off a small petal, Yi Chen took a deep breath and swallowed it. He then sat cross-legged on the bed and started to refine the medicinal energy. 3 days passed and a blood-golden aura appeared on Yi Chen's body. Strands of it were like ribbons. This was the sign of the excess medicinal energy leaking out. As expected of a 3,000 years old blood sunflower, I still underestimated its medicinal energy. Just a small petal was able to completely replenish my qi and blood, and even improve it to the next level. What a pity that some of the medicinal energy leaked out and was wasted. Opening his eyes, Yi Chen had a regretful expression on his face. If it were Su Jing, then this would not have happened. It seemed like he would have to find a chance to send some over. After 7 months of closed-door training, Su Jing's strength had already crossed the 100,000 pounds threshold, leaving Yi Chen far behind. Her qi and blood were so powerful that even astral-reaching realm warriors would not be able to compete with her. If it were not for the minor blood demon body separating great art, he would have given her all of it. However, although my qi and blood have been replenished, the side effects are not completely gone. The blood explosion great art is not just a little bit harmful to martial artists. Yi Chen was not in a hurry. Sometimes he would have to bear the consequences. It was something that could not be avoided. A lot of thoughts flashed through his mind as Yi Chen started to think about his own power. In terms of cultivation, he had reached the peak level of late clasping Yuan realm, and was not far away from purifying Jin Yuan. It was a huge improvement, as his basic power would not be at a disadvantage for warriors below the astral reaching realm. In terms of martial arts, his Green Lotus Sword spell had already reached the 10th level, and he had condensed 6 beams of Green Lotus Sword Qi in his body. Each beam was extremely powerful, and combined with his sword intent, he would be able to beat Yan Qihua and the others. Besides his cultivation and martial arts, the biggest breakthrough was his sword intent. Once the sword intent reached the late stage, each breakthrough would be extremely rare. As his sword intent reached the 80%, Yi Chen's overall power had increased drastically again. He already had the battling power to kill a peak-level early astral-reaching realm warrior, and he would be able to fight against a normal mid-astral reaching realm warrior. Before, with his mysterious Jin Yuan and 70% sword intent, Yi Chen might be able to tear apart the defense of a mid-astral reaching realm warrior, but his opponent was not a block of wood that would let him attack. Therefore, if he encountered a mid-astral reaching realm warrior, he would not have any chance of winning. Instead, the possibility of him dying would be very high. Although right now he might not be able to win against a mid-astral reaching realm warrior, he would be able to fight against him for a while. My cultivation will not improve in a short period of time. My 80% sword intent has not stabilized yet. Right now I will close up and train my Green Lotus Sword spell. Yi Chen was very clear that the higher the cultivation realm, the earlier one could step into the Zhen Yuan refining stage, and the faster the refining process would be. Right now what he lacked was nothing else but cultivation base. If his cultivation base had been at early astral reaching realm during the bloody battle with Taoist Jin Huang, he would have been able to fight for a long time, and Su Jing wouldn't have broken the bones in her arms, temporarily crippling her. Cultivation is the way to go. Nothing else can be relied on. Sighing, Yi Chen decided to continue his closed-up training. He would train his Green Lotus Sword spell to a higher realm first. Once he had enough basic power, he would think about other things. Before his closed-up training, Yi Chen went to the Misty Peak to talk to Cloud Dreamer and Thunder Freer. The two were his seniors and had helped him a lot. In this bloody battle, it was also thanks to their help. Cloud Dreamer had almost exploded himself, so it would not be right if he did not greet them. Seeing Yi Chen recover so fast, Cloud Dreamer and Thunder Freer were very happy. They thought that it would take at least a year and a half for Yi Chen to recover. Hearing that Yi Chen was going to continue his closed-up training, the two reminded him not to be too impatient because of the hatred in front of him. He needed to increase his power. Yichen told them not to worry. He had already planned for this closed-up training. In fact, if Jin Huang and Xikong Sheng had not come to the Sky Cloud Martial School, Yichen was planning to train for a year before coming out. Saying goodbye to the two, Yichen went to notify Su Jing and the rest before returning to the shocking Cloud Mountain and entering the training room inside the mountain. Chapter 306. His Green Lotus Sword spell had reached the 10th realm under the pressure, but it was not that simple. Sometimes, the breakthrough of a martial art required not only the comprehensive ability, but also the explosive power. When the explosive power had nowhere to go, it would naturally follow the best path. But of course one could not expect to be this lucky every time. Most of the time, the breakthrough of a martial art would have to be done step by step. Looking forward to the next 3 steps, hoping for luck to come would be short-sighted after all. My body has almost recovered. Closing up should be no problem. The 3,000 years old blood sunflower was way too powerful. Even though he had lost a part of it, there was still a lot of it hidden deep inside his body, constantly nourishing his qi and blood. Right now, Yichen had to pay close attention to be able to sense some slight discomfort, which was slowly disappearing. Sitting on the stone platform with his legs crossed, he took out 2 mid-rank soul stones and held them in his hands, then closed his eyes. While Yichen was closing up, the Sky Cloud Martial School had started a big reorganization. This time, there were a lot of people who had run away from the Jin Huang incident. Among them there were more than 1,000 outer disciples, 100 inner disciples, 50 outer masters and 4 inner masters. Most of them had just joined the Sky Cloud Martial School, and they were not loyal enough yet. Therefore Luo Xinglia decided to give those disciples a chance. They were still young after all, and their loyalty could be trained slowly. It was understandable that they would run away in a life-and-death situation. However, the elders who had run away would not be so lucky. If they lost this chance, they would never be able to join the Sky Cloud Martial School again. Especially the 4 inner masters, they had lived in the Sky Cloud Martial School for more than 10 years. Running away like this would make a lot of people feel ashamed. In the main hall, Luo Xinglia looked at Luo Hanshan and Zhu Mei, who were sitting in the middle of the hall. He cleared his throat and said, "Hanshan, Zhu Mei, you two have reached the Clasping Yuan realm for a long time. It is not suitable for you to continue being the core disciples. Right now there are some vacancies for the inner masters. Do you have any objections?" The requirement to become an inner master in the Sky Cloud Martial School was relatively low. As long as one had proven his power, he or she could become an inner master as long as they were at the mid-Clasping Yuan realm. Although Luo Hanshan and Zhu Mei were only at the early Clasping Yuan realm, their battling power was at the same level as mid-Clasping Yuan realm warriors. Hanshan is fine. Zhu Mei has no objections either. Indeed, the two of them did not have any objections. Now that Yichen was a Grand Elder and Su Jing was a Core Elder, their statuses were extremely high. In formal occasions, they had to greet the two of them respectfully, which made them very uncomfortable. Now that they had become inner elders, the awkwardness was solved. Keep working hard. The Sky Cloud Martial School still needs you to survive. Yichen and Su Jing will most likely leave the Sky Cloud Martial School to train themselves. They will not be able to stay in the Sky Cloud Martial School for long. Luo Xinglia nodded. Lu Hanshan and Zhu Mei glanced at each other, a bitter smile appeared on their faces. It was not that they couldn't go out to train themselves, but in order to go to a bigger place they would need to be qualified. For example, the Clasping Yuan realm martial artists of the Windy Nation would basically stay in the Windy Nation to train themselves in a small area. Very few of them would go to other nations, and the same was true for the martial artists of other nations. Normally, the weaker a martial artist was, the smaller the area he could train himself in. In order to break this rule, a martial artist would have to have an extremely great potential, which would allow him to grow stronger quickly in a dangerous situation. Otherwise, even if he was one step late, he would be in mortal danger. They were clearly aware of their own potential, and even if they could barely survive, it would still be very difficult for them to grow stronger quickly. Instead of risking their lives, they would rather stay in the Windy Nation, and occasionally go to other nations to train themselves. All of the martial geniuses were like a group of fish swimming against the current. After a while, there would be a group of fish that would fall behind, and after a while, there would be another group that would fall behind. The ones who could actually swim to the top could be counted on one hand. Yichen and Su Jing were without a doubt the leaders of this group of fish. The distance between them was getting further and further, and eventually they were out of their sight. The mountain peak was steep and the wind was fierce. Su Jing, who was dressed in white, stood in the knife-like wind, wholeheartedly practicing her martial arts. Of course, since her arms were already crippled, it was impossible for her to practice fist arts. Instead, she practiced leg arts and lightness skills. It seemed to be caused by her personality and the martial arts she practiced. In the hands of Su Jing, any martial arts would become as powerful as a thunderbolt, full of power. Together with her slender and graceful figure, she gave people a unique feeling, like a small white flower in the cold winter. The biting cold wind was kicked away by the sharp knife-like leg force, and the angular mountain peak was flattened. Su Jing's figure was sometimes fast and sometimes slow. When she was fast, she was like a shooting star, and when she was slow, she was like a floating paper crane. The combination of the two was quite harmonious, showing her extraordinary control over her body. Break! The leg force was like a knife. Su Jing's leg chopped down diagonally, hitting the edge of the mountain peak. With a cracking sound, a piece of the huge mountain peak was cut off. The cut surface was smooth and flat, and it was impossible to tell that it was caused by the leg force. Before he knew it, 2 months had passed, and Yi Chen was still in closed-up training. During this period of time, a few big things had happened in the Sky Cloud Martial School. The annual Inner Disciple ranking competition had just finished, and a lot of talented disciples had been discovered. The core disciples had increased from 20 to 30, and among them, 3 had reached the Clasping Yuan realm one after another. The reason they could reach the Clasping Yuan realm was more or less because of the Dragon Fountain Qi. But more importantly, it was because they had decided to fight against Jin Huang, which had affected them a lot. Every single one of them could feel that their will had been strengthened, and it was hard to be shaken. Shocking Cloud Mountain. Inside the spacious secret room, Yi Chen slowly let out a breath. The breath was like a stream of soft sword qi, shooting through the wall in front of him. I have reached the 11th realm of the Green Lotus Sword spell, and it took me even less time to reach the 8th realm from the 7th realm. According to Yi Chen's original estimation, reaching the 11th realm within half a year would already be very impressive. After the 10th realm of a top-rank Earth realm martial art, the next realm would get harder and harder to train. A lot of people would be stuck at the 10th realm for their entire lives, unable to make any progress. Some of the astral-reaching realm warriors who had trained top-rank Earth realm martial arts would only be stuck between the 12th and 13th realm, because in the later stages, it would not take a lot of time to make a breakthrough. It would require both luck and enlightenment. Sometimes, with a sudden inspiration, one might be able to make a breakthrough. The second his Green Lotus Sword spell broke through to the 11th realm, the 6th Green Lotus Zhen Qi in his dantian slightly shook, and had a qualitative change. The pinky-sized sword qi was like a small fish, covered with a layer of sharp qi. The tip of the sword qi even seemed to be spitting out a cold light. That kind of spirituality and sharpness made even Yi Chen admire it. He could imagine how powerful the Green Lotus Sword qi would be when it reached the 13th realm. Cut. Pointing out his finger, the Green Lotus Sword qi shot out of his finger along his meridians. It tore open a thin mark on the ground and eventually flashed through a stone pillar in the secret room. Without a sound, a complete black line appeared in the middle of the stone pillar. If it were not for the support of the stone pillar underneath, the top half of the pillar would have fallen off without a doubt. So sharp. The stone pillar and the sword qi did not even touch. Only the qi of the sword qi had swept through it, and it had already been cut in two. It was so silent. Yi Chen had seen it clearly. He secretly gasped. If the 11th realm of the Green Lotus Sword qi was already this powerful, then the 13th realm would be even more powerful. No wonder the manual said that even if the Green Lotus Sword spell was separated, it would still be the top of the top-rank Earth realm martial art, only one step away from reaching the next realm. Right now, I am already at the peak level late Clasping Yuan realm, and I have been training the Green Lotus Sword spell. I can reach the Zhen Yuan refining stage at any moment. I have to push my martial art and my cultivation to the next level. By then, my power will increase exponentially. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chen closed his eyes and sank into his training mode again. Time flew like water. 4 months had passed since Yi Chen went into closed-up training for the second time. The Sky Cloud Martial School had officially walked out of the big reorganization. Everyone was united. Whether it was the core masters, the inner masters, the outer masters, the core disciples, the inner disciples, or the outer disciples, everyone looked refreshed. Many of the warriors who came to visit the Sky Cloud Martial School could already feel that kind of unbreakable aura before they even got close to the Sky Cloud Martial School. They could not help but click their tongues. On this day, a group of outer disciples who had gone to the Silent Hills for the training had hurried up the mountain with blood stains all over their bodies. What's wrong? What happened? An inner court disciple stopped them and asked with a frown. The leading outer disciple breathed heavily and said, "Not good. The number of beasts in the Silent Hills has increased a lot. Some of them have never been seen before. They are very different from normal beasts. We were attacked by a group of low-rank beasts when we just got in. 9 of us were killed. 9 people died? Let's go. I will take you to the main palace. You need to tell the leader and all the masters about the details. This is very important. We cannot afford to be careless." The Silent Hills had always been the training place for the outer disciples. The inner disciples would occasionally go there to look for some medicines as well. However, there had never been a situation where 9 disciples had died at once. 1 or 2 deaths in a couple of months was already the limit. After the group of outer disciples arrived at the main palace and told the leaders of the Sky Cloud Martial School what had happened, Luo Xinglia frowned a little and thought to himself, the outer part of the Silent Hills is not that dangerous. There are only 1 or 2 rank 7 beasts in the deeper part of the hills. This is very strange. The deepest part of the Silent Hills was listed as a forbidden area by the Sky Cloud Martial School. Everyone in the Sky Cloud Martial School knew about it. However, after this incident, the entire Silent Hills would probably be listed as a forbidden area. They would lose a great training place. The headmaster of the Sky Cloud Martial School suggested, "Leader, we should inform the Great Master first." Luo Xinglia nodded. "You go and gather everyone in the plaza. Tell them not to go to the Silent Hills for a while. We will talk about it after we know the result." Yes. Cloud Dreaming Peak. After hearing Luo Xinglia's words, Cloud Dreamer exchanged a look with Thunder Freer. "Brother Thunder, you help me take care of the Sky Cloud Martial School. I will go to the Silent Hills to check it out." "Do you want me to go with you?" "No need. Yi Qin is in closed-door training right now. He cannot be disturbed. The Sky Cloud Martial School needs someone to take care of it. Plus, I am quite familiar with the Silent Hills. If anything happens, I will come back immediately. Even a top rank 7 beast would not be able to stop me." "Alright then. You be careful." Thunder Freer knew about Cloud Dreamer's flying art. Although Cloud Dreamer was not as fast as him in a straight line, he was much better than him in other aspects. Chapter 307. On the main plaza, the headmaster saw that almost everyone had arrived, so he told everyone about what had happened in the Silent Hills. He then ordered everyone not to step into the Silent Hills and wait for the result of the investigation. What? 9 outer disciples had died in the outer area of the Silent Hills, and it was all at once. What had happened? The Silent Hills is not that far from the Sky Cloud Martial School. This year has been quite an eventful one for our Sky Cloud Martial School. What are you afraid of? It is only a beast. I hope the leader will gather us to hunt the beasts in the Silent Hills. It has been a long time since we last got some exercise. Don't be too confident. There are 1 or 2 rank 7 beasts in the deepest part of the Silent Hills. One of them is confirmed to be the ghost-faced demonic cow. As for the other one, no one knows for sure. Some say it is a rank 6 tyrant beast, while others say it is a rank 7 beast. 2 rank 7 beasts. It is indeed tricky. Fortunately, we have 2 peak-level early astral-reaching realm warriors and Brother Yi. No, I should call him the Great Master. Everyone was discussing, curious about what had happened in the Silent Hills. Alright, everyone disperse. Remember, without orders, no one is allowed to come close or enter the Silent Hills. Otherwise, even if you do not die, you will be punished according to the school rules. The headmaster waved his hand, signaling everyone to disperse. Right then, a white shadow flew into the sky from the cloud mountain, disappearing into the clouds. The headmaster could see it clearly. It was indeed the Great Master, Cloud Dreamer. "Great Master, are you going to the Silent Hills? I wonder what the result will be." One day later, Cloud Dreamer had returned. His face was expressionless and no one could tell anything from his expression. On the Cloud Mountain, Thunder Freer asked, "Cloud Dreamer, did anything happen in the Silent Hills?" "I fought with the rank 7 ghost-faced demonic cow. This demonic cow is much more powerful than it was 10 years ago. The good thing was that the problem was not with it. Otherwise, even if you and I fought together, we might not be able to kill it. At most, we would only be able to push it back." Cloud Dreamer sat on the stone bench and took a sip of tea. "You only fought with the demon-faced bull and didn't do anything else?" Cloud Dreamer looked a bit serious. "I don't know if it is my illusion, but half of the Silent Hills is covered by a layer of black chi. I think it is the reason why the beasts from other places are gathering here and going crazy. Unfortunately, we haven't found the source of the black chi yet. Plus, I might not be able to handle it by myself. Black aura strange? Thunder Freer thought for a while and said, I'll go check it out tomorrow. Maybe I can find the source of the black chi. Alright, let's take turns. When Yi Chen comes out of seclusion, we'll work together to search for him. After a month, Thunder Freer and Cloud Dreamer took turns to enter the Silent Hills to search for the source of the black chi. However, the chi was very uniform and they couldn't tell where it was thicker. They couldn't find anything. Gradually, they started to get anxious. Recently, the beasts from the outer area of the Silent Hills had been attacking the villages and towns nearby. As the real ruler of the area within 10,000 miles, the Sky Cloud Martial School had the responsibility to protect them. If the area under their control was not safe, then where would the Sky Cloud Martial School's reputation go? Remember, although our Sky Cloud Martial School is one of the top 5 martial institutions, do not bully or look down on the disciples of other martial institutions or families. Anyone who breaks the rules will be punished. Do you hear me? On the main plaza, the top management of the Sky Cloud Martial School had a serious look on their faces. This incident was classified as a small area beast wave incident. Although it was not as big as a small beast wave, they still couldn't be careless. They had already notified all the leaders of the big cities within 10,000 miles, the leaders of all the big families, and some of the leaders of the non-ranked martial institutions. They were going to form an alliance army to kill more and more beasts and protect the safety of the ordinary people. Understood. After the incident with Jin Huang, everyone was not afraid of this small area beast wave. Instead, they were a bit excited and wanted to go there immediately. Within a blink of an eye, another month had passed. During this month, everyone from the Sky Cloud Martial School had had a very fulfilling life. Every day there would be a huge amount of beasts walking out of the Silent Hills, attacking villages and towns. The people from the Sky Cloud Martial School who were guarding the villages and towns would join hands with the people from other forces in the nearby areas to kill the beasts. Cloud Dreamer and Thunder Freer took turns to patrol the battlefield. Of course, they did not join the battle, since the small area beast wave was not that dangerous. For warriors, it was a great training opportunity. Sometimes, there would even be a situation where there were not enough beasts to kill, and people would fight for the beasts. Seeing this, everyone let out a sigh of relief. Luckily, it was still under control. Maybe it was because of some reason that the number of beasts had increased and turned violent. Seriously speaking, this was not a beast wave. A real beast wave, even if it was a small one, was extremely dangerous. Every time it appeared, there would be a lot of casualties. It would not be like this, where everyone was fighting for the beast. In a city near the Silent Hills, Cloud Dreamer smiled. The black chi was indeed strange, but as long as it was not too dangerous, he would have time to deal with it. In the afternoon, a horrifying roar suddenly came from the outer area of the Silent Hills. Then the sky turned dark and dark clouds appeared, covering the sun and the sky. Ghost-faced demonic cow. No, it is another rank 7 beast. Cloud Dreamer's heart slightly tightened. His Zhen Yuan was ready to explode, ready to burn at any second. After a while, 100-meter-long jet-black giant snake slithered over at an extreme speed. Its body was covered with palm-sized black scales, and there was a curved horn on its head. There was a black chi flowing on that horn, which had stimulated the beasts nearby to become even crazier. Black chi. It is the Sky Demon Snake. Cloud Dreamer looked a bit bad. The Sky Demon Snake's defense was extremely powerful, and it was almost invincible among the beasts at the same rank. If it were a rank 6 Sky Demon Snake, then it would be the tyrant of the rank 6 beasts, which would be even more powerful than the Wind Beast. If it were a rank 7 beast, then it would be the tyrant of the rank 7 beast. According to the rumors, the Sky Demon Snake had the bloodline of the ancient beast, the Demon Dragon. Once it reached rank 7, it would be able to breathe out a black flame that was similar to a dragon's breath, which could burn everything. It was extremely horrifying. Even peak-level mid-astral reaching realm warriors would have a headache facing it. The Sky Demon Snake straightened up half of its body, opening its mouth and shooting out a bucket-thick dark light at Cloud Dreamer. On its way, the trees were shattered and the ground cracked open, leaving behind a deep ravine. Open. Burning his Zhen Yuan, a sword appeared in his hand. Cloud Dreamer threw out a sword attack at the dark light. As for dodging, he did not even think about it, since there were hundreds of thousands of people in the city behind him. Boom. The dark light had been shattered and Cloud Dreamer was blown dozens of meters away in the air. The sky demon snake stared at Cloud Dreamer with its vertical pupils. As it flicked its tongue, a black flame spread out, burning the air and turning it into a vacuum world. I did not expect that there would be such a rare sky demon snake in the Silent Hills. This snake must have reached rank 7 recently. Otherwise, it would be impossible for me not to notice it. The sky demon snake was born as a rank 5 beast, and it would grow into a rank 6 beast when it was young. During its growth period, it would become a rank 7 beast, and when it matured, it would become a rank 8 beast. Different from the normal beasts, once it reached its growth period, it would become extremely bloodthirsty and brutal. Wherever it went, blood would flow like a river. It was extremely aggressive, and it was born with the demonic nature just like the ancient demon dragon, which was the symbol of killing and bloodthirst. I cannot handle a rank 7 sky demon snake and I cannot save this city by myself. It seems like I will have to join hands with Brother Lei. It was an emergency situation, so Cloud Dreamer planned to lure the sky demon snake to a place not far away from the Sky Cloud Martial School. By then, Thunder Freer would definitely notice. Once he arrived, the two of them would be able to stall the sky demon snake for a while. Of course, Cloud Dreamer had other plans as well. Yi-Chin had been in closed-up training for 6 months, and his power must have improved. If the three of them joined hands, there was still a chance for them to beat the sky demon snake back. Right now it was the only choice they could make. Cloud-shattering sky cut. Thinking about that, Cloud Dreamer yelled out as he poured his burning Zhen Yuan into his great sword. He threw out an arc-shaped sword chi. Boom. The sword chi was bounced off by the sky demon snake's scales, only leaving a small crack on it. Cloud Dreamer was secretly happy seeing that. This sky demon snake had just leveled up not long ago, so its defense was not that powerful. That way they would have a higher chance of winning. The sky demon snake was furious and started to approach Cloud Dreamer. Cloud Dreamer kept fighting and backing out at the same time, gradually leaving that area. Hundreds of miles later, wherever the man and beast went, everything was in a mess. A lot of mountains had collapsed and rivers had stopped flowing. From the beginning to the end, the sky demon snake had not spat out any black flame. It seemed like it had just reached rank 7 not long ago, so there was not much black flame left. Alright, this is the place. Dozens of miles behind him was the Sky Cloud Martial School. Cloud Dreamer stopped moving and started to fight with the sky demon snake. The sword chi and the dark light were everywhere. Cloud Dreamer was too agile. The sky demon snake obviously had the upper hand, but it still could not hit him within a short period of time. The sky demon snake rolled its eyes and opened its mouth again, shooting out a huge wave of black flame towards Cloud Dreamer's direction. The flame seemed to be alive, blocking all of Cloud Dreamer's escape routes. Cloud Dragon 9 turns. Twisting his body, Cloud Dreamer flashed 8 times before he managed to escape from the black flame. However, the long robe on his body had been brushed by the black flame and started to burn. Cloud Dreamer made a quick decision and cut off the burning long robe. The black flame could burn anything, even if it was not dead, it would be crippled. The man and the beast were making too much noise. Thunder Freer, who was in the Sky Cloud Martial School, had sensed Cloud Dreamer's chi. His expression changed and he flew out without saying a word. From afar, Thunder Freer saw the massive sky demon snake. He performed his sky demon great art, burning his Zhen Yuan and forming the sky thunder battle armor outside his body. Cloud Dreamer, let me help you. Alright, be careful of its black flame. Shocking Cloud Mountain. Sitting on the stone platform, Yi-Chin let out a breath. This time the chi was even more intense than the last time. It went through the secret room directly and reached the edge of the mountain. It has been 6 months. I am afraid it will be hard to reach the 13th level in a short period of time. But it should be enough. With my current power, I will no longer need to be afraid of mid-astral reaching realm warriors. Standing up, Yi-Chin waved his hand and the door of the secret room opened. His body flashed, disappearing within a blink of an eye. Chapter 308. Boom. Dozens of miles away from the Sky Cloud Martial School, the ground started to shake. Countless mountains were either pierced through by the dark light, cut down by the sword chi, or directly shattered into pieces. The battle between 2 peak-level early astral reaching realm warriors and a rank 7 beast sky demon snake was extremely horrifying. Sky Thunder Strike. The thunder orb had accumulated enough thunder element Zhen Qi. Thunder Freer yelled loudly as he controlled the thunder orb to shoot out arm-sized thunder and lightning towards the sky demon snake. The thunder and lightning were like spears, leaving finger-sized cracks on the sky demon snake's scales. Tiny electric arcs kept flashing in the air. With the addition of Thunder Freer, Cloud Dreamer felt a lot more relaxed. However, up until now, the two of them could not do anything to the sky demon snake's defense. Although the sky demon snake had just leveled up, and it had not fully activated all of its potential as a rank 7 beast, the demon dragon bloodline was not a normal ancient beast bloodline. As its level increased, the demon dragon bloodline would bring more and more benefits. Right now, the sky demon snake was almost at the same level as a rank 7 tyrant beast. Given some time, it would definitely surpass most of the rank 7 tyrant beasts. Cloud Dreamer, we can't. Even if we both attack with all of our power, we would not be able to break through its defense. Thunder Freer forced a smile. The sky demon snake was only a small beast among the rank 7 snake-type beasts. However, compared to human beings, its hundreds of meters long body was already extremely huge. The tiny cracks on its scales would not be able to do any damage to it, unless they could break through its defense with one attack and get inside. After cutting down the head of the sky demon snake, Cloud Dreamer flashed to the side and said while gasping for air, "It would be impossible to break through its defense with one attack. We would have to attack a certain spot multiple times to hurt it." "Alright then. You give me a chance. Let me see if my Sky Thunder Strike can hurt it." The Sky Thunder Strike was Thunder Freer's most powerful ace attack. However, it was rarely used in battles because it would take a long time to charge up and consume a lot of Zhenyuan. Basically, Thunder Freer could only perform it 2 or 3 times at his peak, and each attack would consume more than 30% of his Zhenyuan. On the other hand, the destructive power of the Sky Thunder Strike was extremely horrifying. It was a powerful ace attack that sacrificed all the other advantages. After a while, under Cloud Dreamer's control, Thunder Freer threw out a Sky Thunder Strike towards the Sky Demon Snake's neck. Gotcha. The Sky Demon Snake's neck had the most cracks. After that attack, the scales had finally cracked open. The lightning poured into the wound like a spear, and exploded the Sky Demon Snake. Hissing into the Sky Demon Snake's body twisted together in pain. Like an earthworm that had just left the ground, it curled up and kept rolling. Of course, this kind of attack would not be able to wound it badly. It was only a flesh wound, but the pain was still very real. In its fury, the Sky Demon Snake did not care about anything else. It opened its mouth and spat out a huge amount of black flame towards the two of them. The flame was ferocious like waves, covering the entire sky. Retreat. Cloud Dreamer and Thunder Freer turned around and flew away, increasing their speed to the limit. The fierce black flame followed closely behind them, less than 10 meters away from them. Green Lotus Sky. At this moment, a silhouette appeared on the side of the mountain peak. The silhouette reached the peak and swung his sword at the black flames. The void was frozen and it was as calm as a lake. Numerous green lotuses formed by sharp airflows bloomed in the air, spreading out at an extremely fast speed and enveloping the black flames. The power of the black flame was extremely horrifying. Pieces of green lotuses had been burned into ashes, and the peaceful void had been shaken up. Cracks had appeared in the vacuum space. However, after that, the power of the black flame had been completely removed. It could only keep burning. Yi Chen. A joyful expression flashed through Cloud Dreamer's face. His body flashed once, and Yi Chen appeared right next to the two. "Senior Cloud Dreamer, Thunder Freer, what is going on?" Right then Cloud Dreamer told Yi Chen everything that had happened. Yi Chen glanced at the Sky Demon Snake. "This is the Sky Demon Snake? It is indeed tricky. If we do not get it out of the Silent Hills, it will always be a problem." He had heard about the Sky Demon Snake before. This kind of rank 7 beast with the bloodline of the demon dragon was extremely hard to kill. It had an unbelievably powerful life force. Although Yi Chen's power had increased drastically, and he could even fight against mid-astral reaching realm warriors, he was still far from being able to kill the Sky Demon Snake. "Yi Chen, you have been in closed-up training for 6 months. What realm have you reached?" Thunder Freer could not help but ask after seeing that the sword attack of Yi Chen was even more powerful than 6 months ago. It could almost trap an early astral reaching realm warrior who was burning his Zhen Qi to death. Yi Chen smiled lightly. The Zhen Qi inside his body started to circulate. Bits of broken light appeared on his protective Zhen Qi layer, which looked like precious stones and diamonds at the same time. They were crystal clear and extremely condensed. Because of the martial art, these broken light gave people an extremely sharp feeling. Half-step Zhenyuan? You have reached the level where you can purify Jin Yuan. Cloud Dreamer and Thunder Freer's eyes brightened. Yi Chen was different from them. They were battling with their cultivation, and were not that outstanding in other aspects. However, Yi Chen was top of the top in other aspects besides his cultivation. Therefore, even if there was only a slight breakthrough in his cultivation, his battling power would increase tremendously. Yi Chen said, "Right now, I am in the first Jin Yuan purification stage, but I have not finished it yet. Training a top-rank Earth Realm martial art would require 2 Jin Yuan purification stages. Right now, it was Yi Chen's first Jin Yuan purification process. Judging on cultivation, he was still a bit weaker than Xikong Sheng. But, soon, after the first Jin Yuan purification, there would be no difference between him and Xikong Sheng in terms of cultivation. Among the young generation of the South Rudra region, he would be at the top in every aspect." Cloud Dreamer was overjoyed. "Great! As long as you enter the Jin Yuan purification stage, you will not be far from reaching the astral reaching realm. By then, as long as late astral reaching realm warriors do not show up, no one would be able to compete with you." Before, the Sky Cloud Martial School was just normal and would not attract any attention. But now, the Sky Cloud Martial School had an endless amount of luck, which would make people jealous. Just him and Thunder Freer alone would not be enough. This time, if it were not for the powerful warriors who had come to save them, the Sky Cloud Martial School would have been destroyed already. Therefore, Yi Chen's improvement had greatly reduced the pressure on him. "Senior Cloud Dreamer, don't worry. That day will not be far away. The higher the realm of the martial arts, the shorter the Jin Yuan purification time would be." In 6 months, Yi Chen had trained his Green Lotus Sword spell to the 12th realm. He believed that after the first Jin Yuan purification, it would be able to reach the 13th realm, and the second Jin Yuan purification time would be much shorter. As for what Thunder Freer had said before, even with a top-rank Earth Realm martial art, it would still take 3 to 4 years to reach the astral reaching realm. It was because he did not think that many people would be able to train their martial arts beyond the 10th realm at the Clasping Yuan realm, not to mention Yi Chen's 12th realm. Plus, the Green Lotus Sword spell was almost a Heaven realm martial art, so 3 to 4 years was obviously not needed. The Sky Demon Snake recovered from the pain and shot out a bucket-thick dark light towards Yi Chen. The dark light split open the air, creating a vacuum tunnel. Cut. The sky-shattering cloud sword movement operated according to the poetic perspective of thunder and clouds. Yi Chen held his sword with both of his hands, throwing out a sword attack towards the dark light. Swoosh. The dark light was split into 2, shooting through 2 mountains on the left and right respectively. "Be careful of its black flame. Do not touch it," Cloud Dreamer reminded. Yi Chen nodded. This Sky Demon Snake was not as scary as the rumor said it to be. It should be because it had just reached the next level. However, its battling power was obviously at the mid-astral reaching realm, and its defense had reached the rank 7 Tyrant Beast level. Normal mid-astral reaching realm warriors would have to run for their lives if they ran into it. However, Yi Chen was confident that he could beat it back. During the competitions of the Hidden Dragon rank, he had trained a high-rank Earth Realm martial art, the Mysterious Great Art. Although it was not as powerful in other aspects, his battling power was already equivalent to a normal early astral reaching realm warrior. Right now he had entered the Zhen Yuan refining stage. Without using the minor blood demon body separating great art, he would be able to compete with early astral reaching realm warriors who were burning their Zhen Yuan. Once he used it, his battling power would reach beyond the early astral reaching realm and reach the mid-astral reaching realm. Of course, if a mid-astral reaching realm warrior were to burn his Zhen Yuan, it would still be quite horrifying. Yi Chen's battling power was still below average. He would not be able to compete with the older mid-astral reaching realm warriors like the Black Crow Man. He could only fight against normal mid-astral reaching realm warriors. Once he reached the astral reaching realm, everything would be clear. He would truly not be afraid of mid-astral reaching realm warriors. As long as a late astral reaching realm warrior did not show up, there would not be many people who could do anything to him, including some of the freakishly powerful mid-astral reaching realm warriors. Seeing that the dark light could not do anything to Yi Chen, the Sky Demon Snake did not plan to shoot out that extremely hard-to-form black flame. Instead, it slightly lowered its head, and a black light appeared on its horn, shaking the entire space. Boom. A pile of black chi flow poured out of its horn, eventually turning into a demonic dragon chi flow, attacking towards Yi Chen. Blood demon body separation. The blood-red half-step Zhen Yuan shot out into the sky, and Yi Chen's aura increased drastically. Judging from his appearance alone, He looked even more horrifying than an early astral-reaching realm warrior. Along with his aura, there was also a sword intent that had spread out in the air. The sword intent had been condensed into one beam, which was even more threatening. He did not perform his kill heart sword attack. Although it was more horrifying than the first ace attack of the Green Lotus sword art, it was under the premise that he could not perform his minor blood demon body separation great art. Therefore he would only be able to perform 80% of its power. Therefore it was not as powerful as the second half of the Green Lotus Sky Green Lotus accumulation. A fist-sized Green Lotus shot out along with Yi Chen's attack. It drew a thin black line in the air, landing heavily on that demonic dragon chi flow. The demonic dragon chi flow roared into the sky, opening its mouth to bite the Green Lotus, wanting to swallow it whole. The demonic dragon chi flow had been pierced through completely, and the Green Lotus came out from its tail. The remaining power did not disappear, blowing the sky demon snake back into the air and shattering a mountain. After shattering the demonic dragon chi flow with one punch, Yi Chen chased after it. His mysterious Zhen Yuan, which had already been converted by half into Green Lotus Zhen Yuan, poured into his star scar sword through his meridians. Cut. While the iron was still hot, Yi Chen threw out his most powerful ace attack to the sky demon snake, not giving it any chance to fight back. Chapter 309. Yi Chen's Green Lotus accumulation did not do much damage to the sky demon snake, which was only equivalent to a normal attack from a mid-astral reaching realm warrior. But once he had activated his mysterious Zhen Yuan, Yi Chen's attacking power had increased drastically, reaching the peak level of mid-astral reaching realm. With one attack, the sky demon snake's huge body had been pushed into the ground directly. Blood spurted out like a fountain, dyeing the collapsed mountain red. There is still a trace of Zhen Yuan in the Zhen Qi spiral, which is the seed to regenerate a drop of Zhen Yuan. It would take me 3 days to do that. If I cannot beat it, then I will have to fight it again after 3 days. I do not believe that it would be able to recover within 3 days. Before, it would take Yi Chen at least half a month to regenerate a drop of Zhen Yuan. But after entering the Zhen Yuan refining stage, it would only take him 3 days. In other words, every 3 days he would be able to perform a Zhen Yuan attack. Boom. The ground cracked open as the sky demon snake crawled out from the ground. There was a long and narrow sword mark on its forehead, with blood pouring out of it. What a powerful defense. I am afraid that even late astral reaching realm warriors would not be able to kill it easily. That attack just now was already Yi Chen's limit. Since it did not want to back out, then they would have to work together and force it back into the Silent Hills. Let's do it together. If there are too many wounds on the skin, it would cause internal injuries as well. With the help of Yi Chen, Cloud Dreamer did not think it would be that hard to beat back the sky demon snake. With the three of them working together, it would be more than enough to suppress it. Alright, let's do it together. Thunder Freer was accumulating the Zhen Yuan for his Sky Thunder attack. After a while, the sky demon snake finally decided to back out. Its upper body had been attacked by the three of them together, and there was almost no place left unscathed. It was covered with sword marks and burn marks. Plus, it had been losing blood for a long time, which had consumed a lot of its energy. It was not as powerful as before, and it was getting more and more tired. As the sky demon snake backed out, the three of them followed right behind it, watching it escape into the Silent Hills. Outside of the Silent Hills, Cloud Dreamer and Thunder Freer had stopped burning their Zhen Yuan and were gasping for air. Burning Zhen Yuan was a heavy burden for astral-reaching realm warriors. Each time they burned their Zhen Yuan, they would need to spend a lot of time to recover. If the burning time was too long, they would also need to use great medicines to nourish their meridians and flesh. Otherwise, after a long period of time, it would be hard for them to train. Compared to them, Yi Chen was much more relaxed. The medicinal power of the 3,000-year-old blood sunflower was too strong. Now he did not even need to deliberately swallow the blood sunflower. The medicinal power of the blood sunflower hidden in his body would automatically nourish his qi and blood. And with the continuous consumption and replenishment, Yi Chen's qi and blood were clearly much more vigorous. Compared to 6 months ago, there was a huge improvement. As for the side effects of performing the minor blood demon body separating great art, it had also disappeared, since the medicinal power of the blood sunflower was constantly nourishing Yi Chen's body. No matter how many side effects there were, they would all be gone and would not affect Yi Chen at all. The blood sunflower that was less than 1,000 years old would have 3 petals, and the 3,000-year-old one would have 9 petals. Before, I had only swallowed a small half of the petals, and it already had such a lasting effect. There are still 8 petals left, which should be enough for me to use for a long time. Sending 2 or 3 petals to Su Jing should be fine. Although Su Jing had a slim body, and her bones were not that thick, her qi and blood were at least 3 times more powerful than Yi Chen's. As long as she did not run out of qi and blood, her physical strength and wounds would be able to recover very quickly. If she ran into a powerful opponent, she would be able to slowly kill him. In the future, when she traveled across the True Spirit continent, she would be able to protect herself. Watching the Sky Demon Snake disappear into the Silent Hills, Cloud Dreamer turned around and said to Yi Chen and Thunder Freer, "In the coming days, the Sky Cloud Martial School will not be peaceful. Let's go back and heal our bodies first and get ready to fight the Sky Demon Snake until we drive it out of the Windy Nation." "That's the only way." Thunder Freer nodded. Yi Chen then said, "In about 3 days I will be able to recover 1 drop of Zhen Yuan in my body. After that, I will go and find it every 3 days until it dies." The Sky Demon Snake's defense was way too powerful. When it used its Zhen Yuan attack, Yi Chen's attacking power was at least 2 to 3 times more powerful than his Sky Thunder attack. However, it could only slightly wound the Sky Demon Snake and could not severely wound it. Of course, compared to Thunder Freer and Cloud Dreamer, Yi Chen's attacking power was already quite powerful. After all, the two of them had been fighting against the Sky Demon Snake for a long time, and they had only managed to injure it a little. If it were not for Yi Chen, the two of them would not be able to do anything to the Sky Demon Snake, and would instead be killed by it. Recovering 1 drop of Zhen Yuan in 3 days? So fast. Cloud Dreamer was shocked. He had read the mysterious great art manual that Yi Chen had left behind, but until now no one had trained it to the 11th level. Only Yi Chen had reached this level. However, according to his understanding, it would take a long time to condense 1 drop of Zhen Yuan. The fact that Yi Chen was able to condense 1 drop of Zhen Yuan in 3 days was probably related to his cultivation and the level of his martial art. Yi Chen nodded and asked, "Who else in the martial school has trained the mysterious great art?" "There are quite a lot of people who have trained it. There is 1 core master, 4 inner masters and 1 core disciple. But only the core master, Master Wu, has trained it to the 9th level. The rest of them are all below the 8th level." "Oh, I see." Yi Chen said, "I have a lot of knowledge about the mysterious great art. I know every breakthrough method like the back of my hand. If they have time, let them come to my shocking cloud mountain tomorrow. I will teach them personally. If they can train it to the 11th level at the Clasping Yuan realm, then their extreme battling power will increase drastically." "That would be great. You train everything fast and the breakthrough method is without a doubt the best. With your guidance they would be able to save a lot of time and effort." Cloud Dreamer stroked his beard, his face full of smiles. The mysterious great art did not have much of an effect on astral-reaching realm warriors, since all they had was Zhen Yuan inside their bodies, and they did not need to condense it. However, for Clasping Yuan realm warriors, 1 drop of Zhen Yuan could increase their extreme attacking power drastically. Even if they could not handle a single attack from an astral-reaching realm warrior, they would at least be able to kill a powerful peak-level late Clasping Yuan realm warrior. Covering the 10,000 miles radius of the Sky Cloud Martial School, the Beast Wave did not have much of a destructive power. Many of the powerful parties were even a bit happy, since the more beasts there were, the more opportunities for their disciples to train. For this reason, all of the powerful parties had come together and made a rule that they could get rewards based on the number of beasts they had killed, in order to stimulate everyone's enthusiasm. After looking around for a while, the 3 realized that the Allied army had the situation under control, and they did not need to worry about it, so they went back to the Sky Cloud Martial School. The second day. On the shocking Cloud Mountain. "Master Yi, I have trained the mysterious great art for more than 2 years, but I have been stuck at the 9th level. I cannot make a breakthrough." Inside the Great Master's palace, the core master, Master Wu, cupped his fists and bowed to Yi Chen, then told him about his problem. Yi Chen said, "You try to activate your martial art, let me have a look." "Yes." Master Wu took a deep breath. The Zhen Qi inside his body was activated according to the 9th level of the mysterious great art. After scanning with his soul power, Yi Chen found out the problem and said, "The main point of the mysterious great art is to condense. Your Zhen Qi has a tendency to scatter. In this way, even if you have 3 to 5 years, you might not be able to make a breakthrough to the 10th level, not to mention the 11th level." Immediately, Yi Chen told Master Wu the details of the breakthrough method. Because of his powerful soul power, he was able to see the problem in detail. Master Wu could understand it easily, and could not help but thank him again and again. He was very impressed by Yi Chen. Following that, the 4 inner court elders also came over one by one to lay out their questions. After the 4 left, the only core disciple who had trained the mysterious great art, Jingju, walked in. Yi Chen was not surprised at all. After the incident with Jin Huang, there were 2 more core disciples who had reached the Clasping Yuan realm. One was Blood Shadow Blade Meng Chong, and the other was indeed Jingju. Only Clasping Yuan realm warriors could have the right to train the top martial arts of the martial school. In the beginning, when Yi Chen had just risen, Jingju was ranked 4th among the core disciples. He was cold and had a rich battling experience, so it was reasonable for him to reach the Clasping Yuan realm first. In a couple of months, Jingju had already reached the 4th level of the mysterious great art. He wanted to improve faster, so he came to the shocking cloud mountain where Yi Chen was. It was not easy to reach the 5th level from the 4th level, but with Yi Chen's guidance, it could at least shorten the time. Jingju was also a martial genius in the Sky Cloud Martial School, so he could spend even less time. After Jingju left, Yi Chen closed the door of the Great Master's palace and headed to Su Jing's mountain. On top of the mountain, Su Jing was practicing her leg art. Yi Chen watched quietly for a while, then nodded silently. Su Jing's talent was only second to him in the Sky Cloud Martial School, and even in the entire Windy Nation she was only second to him. Her understanding of martial arts could not be compared to normal people at all. Even Yi Chen could not see any flaws in her martial arts. "You're here." It was like there was a layer of membrane between the two, and without breaking it, Su Jing was always a bit shy when she saw Yi Chen. She was not as straightforward and calm as she used to be. Right now they were more like friends than friends and more like lovers. It was not quite accurate to say that they were lovers, since neither of them had expressed their feelings for each other clearly. Yi Chen thought that it was enough for them to maintain their current relationship. Yi Chen smiled. He took out 3 petals of the blood sunflower and a bottle of medicine. He said, "These petals are 3,000 years old blood sunflower petals. The medicine is 10 times more effective than 1,000 years old blood sunflower. This medicine can preserve the life of the petals, and it will be very helpful for your body training. What about you?" Su Jing knew that Yi Chen's minor blood demon body separating great art was very dangerous, and it would require even more spirit medicines than her. Yi Chen said, "I still have some here. It should be enough for a long time." Hearing him, Su Jing did not reject any more, but the blush on her face was even more obvious. The two chatted for a while in the Core Master Palace. When the sky was getting dark, Yi Chen returned to the shocking cloud mountain and continued to figure out the method to break through the 13th level of the Green Lotus Sword spell. After 3 days, Yi Chen ran to the Silent Hills alone, trying to find the Sky Demon Snake. The Sky Demon Snake had been hiding quite well, hiding underground. No wonder it had not been discovered for so many years. Unfortunately, it had run into Yi Chen. Following the direction of the Black Chi, Yi Chen arrived at the general area. He then scanned with his soul power, and the Sky Demon Snake's tracks were immediately exposed. Without any hesitation, Yi Chen performed his minor blood demon body separating great art and fought with the Sky Demon Snake that had not fully recovered yet. In the end, he pushed his Zhen Yuan and gave it a brutal attack before leaving. The Sky Demon Snake had been beaten by Yi Chen until it had lost its temper. It had toned down a lot and did not dare to walk out of the Silent Hills. However, since it had inherited a lot of the bloodline of the demon dragon, it would not be able to vent its desire without killing. Therefore, it could only vent its anger on other beasts. Just like that, Yi Chen came once every 3 days and left right after the fight. Soon, another 2 months had passed. He was not far away from breaking through the 13th level of the Green Lotus Sword spell, and the first Zhen Yuan purification was also coming to an end. By then, his battling power would reach the next level. However, the recovery speed of the Sky Demon Snake was a bit out of Yi Chen's expectation. Although every time he went, the Sky Demon Snake would get even more wounded, it was still able to maintain the situation. Yi Chen suspected that there must be something that could speed up the Sky Demon Snake's recovery. Perhaps it was also the main reason why it could reach rank 7. If he did not find that thing, then the battle would not be finished in a short time, and it would become a long battle. Layers of chi flow formed a green lotus that spread out, covering both the ghost-faced demonic cow and the Sky Demon Snake. The next second, The green lotus turned into a sword rain and attacked on the two's bodies crazily, bringing up a clear clanging sound. The ghost-faced demonic cow's defense was not as powerful as the sky demon snake's after all. It could not even handle the first half of the ace attack. Countless bone-deep sword marks appeared on its body, and it kept making a muffled moan. The sky demon snake was furious. It opened its mouth and let out a black flame that could burn anything. The green lotus turned into a sword rain and was burned into ashes. The frozen surreal space had also been shattered, disappearing into nothingness. Green lotus accumulation. Cut. A fist-sized green lotus formed on the tip of the sword. Yi Chen waved his sword towards the ghost-faced demonic cow, preparing to take out one first. The ghost-faced demonic cow had never seen such a powerful clasping Yuan realm warrior. It regretted coming to help the sky demon snake, but it was already too late. It had no choice but to use its hardest horn to block out the incoming green lotus, hoping that it would be able to block out the attack. Gotcha. The ghost-faced demonic cow's horn was broken, and a huge amount of blood poured out of its mouth and nose. Die. The Silent Hills was not far from the Sky Cloud Martial School. A rank 7 demonic beast was a threat after all. It was hard to guarantee that it would not lose its mind and start to attack. Yi Chen planned to take care of it right here and now. He turned his body, avoiding the sky demon snake's counterattack, and threw out a sword attack towards the ghost-faced demonic cow. The sword chi was like a pillar, and it was indeed the kill heart sword. Oh. There was no way that the ghost-faced demonic cow could block out the extremely fast kill heart sword. A sword hole appeared on its stomach, and it was so cold that it felt like it had been killed. With its ally dead, the sky demon snake went crazy. For the past 2 months, it had been wounded almost every day, and it was all thanks to Yi Chen. If it were not for him, it would have been killing everywhere, enjoying the experience brought by killing, and gradually activating the demon dragon bloodline inside its body. Once the potential of the demon dragon bloodline was activated to its limit, it would become a real tyrant of rank 7 demonic beasts. It would be way more powerful than normal tyrants of rank 7 demonic beasts, and it would be ready to reach rank 8. Swoosh. The black flames spread out, forming a burning firestorm. Wherever it went, the ground was burned through, and the air was burned out, turning into a vacuum world. The green lotus sky art might not be able to stop the black flame. I will have to attack with brute force. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chen jumped up from the ground. The mysterious Zhen Yuan, no, it should be called the green lotus Zhen Yuan. Its evil eyes were filled with killing intent, which was the killing intent of the demon dragon's bloodline. After such a long time of accumulation, that killing intent had finally exploded. The ground was burnt through, and the black flame turned into a horrifying demon dragon's shape, sweeping out. Even if it were Yi Chen, he would be killed immediately without any chance of survival. Chapter 311. Being underground, Yi Chen's dodging speed would definitely be affected. Seeing the black flame coming at him like an evil demon dragon, Yi Chen stomped on the ground with his back facing the black flower, holding his star scar sword with both of his hands. Green Lotus Light. This attack focused more on defense than offense. A bathtub-sized green lotus appeared and gathered on the blade of the star scar sword, covering Yi Chen's whole body. Boom. The black flame could burn anything, but the thickness and defense of the green lotus could not be underestimated either. All of a sudden there was a subtle balance between the two. No matter how aggressive the flame was, it could not break through Yi Chen's sword attack defense right away, and could only slowly erode it. Seeing that its ace attack could not do anything to Yi Chen, a murderous light flashed through the sky demon snake's eyes. A black flame appeared on its tail as well, looking like a burning fire column. As it swept across, the air in the whole cave had been burned into nothingness, and the resistance had been reduced to an extreme. Boom. The green lotus exploded, and Yi Chen was blown away. However, this result was obviously within his expectation. As he was flying backward, he made a grabbing gesture in the air. That basin-sized black flower was pulled out by the roots, falling into his storage ring. Once the black flower disappeared, the black chi had become the source of everything. The first one to sense it was naturally the sky demon snake. It opened its mouth and let out an ear-piercing scream, which was filled with anger that it had never felt before. Yi Chen had stopped it from killing and trapped it in the Silent Hills, but it had not lost its mind yet. However, the black flower was its life, the key to its growth. Once it was taken away, it would be impossible for it to grow fast, which would be the same as cutting off its potential. Therefore, at that moment the sky demon snake had completely lost its mind. The remaining black flame inside its body continued to pour out, covering Yi Chen and the cave. Break! Throwing out a sword attack, a tiny crack appeared in the black flame. Yi Chen pushed his separating shadow flying art to its limit. After flashing once, he jumped out of the crack and landed on the ground. The sky demon snake jumped right after him, carrying the burning flame towards Yi Chen. It looked like it would not stop until it was dead. No one could stop it. Let's see how long you can last without this flower. Since his green lotus Zhenyuan had been used up, Yi Chen could not hurt the sky demon snake with one attack. However, the black flame was not endless, so Yi Chen was not afraid of anything happening to himself. Stepping lightly on the ground, Yi Chen soared into the sky and turned into a wisp of black smoke. A man and a beast chased each other. What a heartless man. The twin brother Yang Wu forced a smile. If he had nothing to do, he would not have made it this far. Xiao Wu is right. The power of a genius comes with a price. We are not geniuses, but we are not as hardworking as him. The twin brother Yang Wen nodded. Yao Qing said, "Do you think he will just ignore us if we go to him?" Hearing her, the four of them forced a smile. They had only met Yi Chen by chance, and it was their honor to have fought alongside him. So they would not dare to disturb him. Green Lotus Mountain. The blood explosion spell had increased Yi Chen's battling power by more than 80%. With one sword attack he had wounded the sky demon snake. That blood-red sword chi left a horrifying sword mark on its body. The sky demon snake hid in the black flame and threw out a tail attack. Shadow explosion. Human shadows flashed as Yi Chen's real body appeared above the sky demon snake within a second. The ace movement of his green lotus sword art was thrown down. Crack. A bloody hole appeared on the sky demon snake's forehead, and blood kept pouring out. Piss off. His body flashed again, and Yi Chen appeared right in front of the sky demon snake's chin. He threw out a sword attack and that blood-red, fire-like sword light appeared. It had blown the sky demon snake hundreds of meters away, creating a huge pit on the ground. It was dozens of meters deep and dozens of meters wide. He is completely dominating a rank 7 beast. So powerful. Of course. Yi Chen is the great master of our Sky Cloud Martial School. Hearing him, all the disciples of the Sky Cloud Martial School looked proud. They felt lucky to be a disciple of the Sky Cloud Martial School. Right now, in the Windy Nation, which young generation did not want to join the Sky Cloud Martial School. The black flame inside the sky demon snake's body was not endless. Without the sky demon flower, it would be extremely hard for it to gather the black flame again. After all, it had just reached the level not long ago, and did not know much about the power of a rank 7 beast yet. There was just too little information about the black flame. Without the black flame, the sky demon snake had completely become a powerful rank 7 beast. Its defense was only equivalent to a rank 7 tyrant beast, and its overall power had dropped by 1 level. It tried to run away but was stabbed into the ground by Yi Chen's sword attack. As it lost more and more blood, its physical strength started to run out. Eventually it roared into the sky and exploded. Rumble. That horrifying chi wave blew away Yi Chen, who had backed out far away. After backing out not far away from the city wall, Yi Chen forced a smile. A rank 7 tyrant beast was only equivalent to a powerful mid-astral reaching realm warrior, but it had not reached the peak level yet. On the other hand, without the black flame, the sky demon snake's overall power was actually not as powerful as a rank 7 tyrant beast. However, Yi Chen still could not kill it within a short period of time. It was not hard to tell how powerful the sky demon snake was. Once it grew up, it would definitely become a tyrant among the rank 7 tyrant beast. It would be powerful enough to fight against a peak-level mid-astral reaching realm warrior, and even a late astral reaching realm warrior would not be able to kill it easily. Yi Chen. Right then, a clear voice was heard from afar. Yi Chen turned his head to look and a smile appeared on his face. "It's you guys. Long time no see." Yao Qing was surprised. "You still remember us?" "Of course." Chapter 312. After releasing the blood explosion spell, Yi Chen felt that the blood sunflower's medicinal power that was hidden in the deepest part of his body had completely disappeared. He felt a bit uncomfortable, so he shook his head and laughed. It's been more than 4 years and the 5 of you are still together. Lu Tao was obviously happy that Yi Chen did not ignore them. If we are together we will always be together unless something unexpected happens. Luckily, other than some small conflicts, there were no accidents. Yao Qing was more beautiful than 4 years ago. Although she was not as pretty as the girls that Yi Chen had met before, such as Murong Qingqing, Su Jing, Ji Shuiyan, Zhu Mei, and Yuan Xuemei, she was still a beauty. She was still wearing a red dress, and under the dress, her curvaceous body was filled with the vitality of a girl next door. She looked at Yi Chen curiously. Strange, you don't even have 3 heads and 6 arms, why is there such a big gap between us? But the trick of the sword art that you taught me was really good. I am much better than others with the same sword art. Yi Chen smiled. At that time he was a bit perfunctory. Of course the method was right, but it was a bit stupid. Greetings, Great Master. Great Master, my name is Song Hai. Great Master, what can I do for you? While the 6 of them were talking, the disciples of the Sky Cloud Martial School all ran over to greet them, causing Lu Tao and the other 4 to be dumbfounded. They were all the same age, but they were already great elders, and their status was even higher than the patriarch. It is fate that brought us together. I don't have anything good to give you, but here are 5 bottles of pellets that are useful for training which will help you break through. He was the great master of the Sky Cloud Martial School, and the leader of the Golden Light Martial School used to be a disciple of the Sky Cloud Martial School. Therefore, the 5 of them were technically his juniors, so it was not good to meet them empty-handed. Luckily, when Yi Chen was training outside, he had bought a lot of pellets. These 5 bottles of pellets were not that expensive for him, but they still cost 1,000 low-rank soul stones, which most of the outer masters could not afford. The 5 of them declined and accepted it. Anything that could make Yi Chen give it to them couldn't be bad. They had no reason to refuse. After bidding farewell to the 5, Yi Chen flew towards the Sky Cloud Martial School. Idle Cloud Peak. Cloud Dreamer looked at the black flower that Yi Chen took out and shook his head, indicating that he did not know the name of the flower. Thunder Freer looked confused and said slowly, "Is this the Sky Demon Flower?" Sky Demon Flower? Yi Chen and Cloud Dreamer looked at Thunder Freer. Thunder Freer said, "I have heard people describe the Sky Demon Flower before, but I am not sure if it is." Yi Chen still did not know why the essence blood of the ancient Demon King would turn into the Sky Demon Flower, and how it had been passed down until now. But he did not care about these things. No matter how mysterious the Sky Demon Flower was, it did not matter to him at all. All he needed was its medicinal power. Senior Cloud Dreamer, Senior Thunder Freer, you can each take a petal of the Sky Demon Flower. The Sky Demon Flower was extremely heavy. Yi Chen used his half-step Zhenyuan to cut off 2 petals with all his might, handing them to Cloud Dreamer and Thunder Freer respectively. Cloud Dreamer was shocked. "You want to give it to us? This thing can only be found by luck. There are only 10 petals on one plant." Yi Chen said, "Since the Sky Demon Flower can heal the dead, it will definitely be useful in the future. The Sky Cloud Martial School still needs you 2 to control the situation." Yi Chen was telling the truth. In the future, when he was not in the Sky Cloud Martial School, the school would have to rely on the 2 of them. Without some life-saving means he would not be able to rest assured. "All right then, I will keep it for you for now." Cloud Dreamer knew Yi Chen's temperament very well. There was no way he would take back something he had already given out. If he continued to decline, it would seem like he was treating him like an outsider. Leaving the Cloud Dreamer Mountain, Yi Chen arrived at Su Jing's mountain. Core Master Palace. Su Jing frowned. "This thing can cure my arms? It should be right. You try it first." Yi Chen took out 3 petals and handed them to Su Jing, keeping 5 for emergencies. "All right." Su Jing held one of the petals in her hand. Her Zhen Qi poured out through her meridians, sweeping towards the black Qi coming out from the petals. Crack. Vaguely, Yi Chen heard the sound of bones rubbing against each other in Su Jing's right arm. He scanned with his soul power and immediately found out that Su Jing's shattered bones were getting back together. At the edge of the bones, the black Qi was like a magnet, attracting other bones towards it. It is indeed the Sky Demon Flower. Its effect is so powerful. Yi Chen finally confirmed the name of the black flower. It was undoubtedly the Sky Demon Flower that Thunder Freer had mentioned. Even if it was not, it could at least prove that it could cure broken bones. Su Jing seemed to be very surprised. Only the black Qi from one petal had increased the recovery speed of her broken bones by dozens of times. Moreover, the broken bones and the flesh of her arms seemed to be even stronger and stronger after being infected by that Qi. You take your time to recover. If it is not enough, I still have more. Yi Chen saw that the sky demon flower petal was effective, so he did not keep it anymore. Su Jing nodded and put away the other 2 heavenly demon flower petals. Walking out of the Core Master Palace, Yi Chen let out a breath. Once they reached this realm, battling beyond their realms would be no different than eating and drinking. Eating the rice bit by bit, Yi Chen cleared away all the distracting thoughts, preparing himself for the 13th realm. Time flowed like water and there was no turning back. Ever since the Sky Demon Snake and the Sky Demon Flower disappeared, the beast wave that had been plaguing the Sky Cloud Martial School for thousands of miles had suddenly stopped. Only a few beasts were still active in the human area. Half a year later, the shocking cloud mountain where Yi Chen was at released a wave of intense sharp qi, which pierced through the clouds and attracted the attention of the whole Sky Cloud Martial School. Added with all the rank 7 martial zombies, his overall power was only above Jin Huang's. No one in the Windy Nation would be able to fight against him. Without a choice, the Cloud Dreamer threw the topic back to the Fireman. The Fireman nodded. Indeed. The Corpse Man is indeed a troublesome existence. Therefore, I had immediately informed all the martial institutions and asked everyone to join forces. We will kill the Ghost Corpse Mountain and the Corpse Man as fast as lightning, so that he would not have the time to react. You mean to combine all the astral-reaching realm warriors in the Windy Nation? Cloud Dreamer understood what the Fireman was trying to say. Only astral-reaching realm warriors would be able to kill them at such a fast speed. Warriors below the astral-reaching realm would be slowed down a lot. The Fireman stared at the Cloud Dreamer. What do you think? The Cloud Dreamer thought for a while, then said, How about this? Wait until everyone is here, then we will discuss. Sure. 3 days later, I will see you on the Green Beauty Mountain. By then, all the astral-reaching realm warriors from the top 5 martial institutions will be there. The Cloud Dreamer's answer was within the Fireman's expectation. He then said, This time, all the top 3 astral-reaching realm warriors from the Purple Sun Martial School will be there. You will not be the only one from the Sky Cloud Martial School, right? Of course not. If it is confirmed, there will be 2 astral-reaching realm warriors from the Sky Cloud Martial School. Oh? Which 2? The Fireman squeezed his eyes. Although he did not think that Yi Chen would be able to reach the astral-reaching realm in a short period of time, but it was better to be safe than sorry. If Yi Chen really did reach the astral-reaching realm, then some of the details would have to be changed. He just hoped that things would not be as bad as he thought. Me and the Thunder Freer. The Thunder Freer was not a secret in the Sky Cloud Martial School anymore, so the Cloud Dreamer was not afraid to say it out. I heard that Yi Chen has not reached the astral-reaching realm yet, but he already has the power to fight against astral-reaching realm warriors. Why don't we bring him along as well? This time, killing the Corpse Man would be a great opportunity. Hearing him, the Fireman let out a breath. Judging from his expression, Yi Chen should not have reached the astral-reaching realm yet. A smile appeared on his face as he said. The Cloud Dreamer's face sank. You don't have to worry about that. He has the power to fight against an astral-reaching realm warrior before reaching the astral-reaching realm? It is most likely just a rumor. I, the Gold Spear Man, do not believe it. Even if we bring him along, he would only be a burden. The Gold Spear Man said with a disdainful expression. Gold Spear Sanrin followed closely behind, the golden spear in his hand pierced out at a speed invisible to the naked eye, bursting out hundreds of spear lights. Each spear light was equivalent to an attack of 60% of his strength. Hundreds of spear lights pierced out at the same time. There was no way to escape, no way to retreat. The first move. Flying into the sky, Yi Chen stopped his body. 80% of his sword intent had been infused into his Star Scar sword, attacking towards the Gold Spear Man with his sky-shattering clouds. The moment he swung his sword, the wind blew, the clouds churned, and lightning crackled. It split apart the hundreds of spear lights with an unstoppable force, and under the horrified gaze of the golden spear loose man, it ferociously attacked. He actually split apart hundreds of my spear lights. Gold spear practitioner was caught unprepared and quickly raised his spear to block. There was a loud bang. In everyone's sight, the gold spear man had been blown away by Yi Chen's first sword attack, looking extremely embarrassed. Impossible. He has obviously not reached the astral reaching realm yet. How could his battling power be this powerful? The fireman who was standing on the ground was shocked. He was very clear about the gold spear man's power, which was definitely not weaker than his. Although he was still in his normal condition without burning his Zhenyuan, he could still fight against an early astral reaching realm warrior when he was burning his Zhenyuan, not to mention Yi Chen, who had not even reached the astral reaching realm yet. He had always thought that Yi Chen was just a normal early astral reaching realm warrior. As for Yi Chen killing the sky demon snake half a year ago, it was not that he did not know about it, but there were too few people who knew about it. Most of them thought that the sky demon snake was just a slightly more powerful rank 7 beast, which misled the fireman. In the sky hundreds of meters away, the gold spear man's eyes were red. He was a mid-astral reaching realm warrior, but he had been blown away by Yi Chen, who had not even reached the astral reaching realm yet. It was something that he could not accept. The Zhenyuan inside his body rubbed against each other, and a golden flame appeared. The gold spear man who was covered in fire yelled, "Today you will die for sure. Gold snake break." As he threw out a spear attack, a golden snake-shaped spear light shot out along the spear body, traveling at an extremely fast speed. The horrifying gold mentality had given the snake-shaped spear light the ability to break through anything. The air had been pierced through, and the space cracks kept appearing, providing the snake-shaped spear light with an environment to increase its speed. Whoosh! A blood-red fake Zhenyuan exploded from Yi Chen's body. The fake Zhenyuan was not that much different from the real Zhenyuan. His real power had not been revealed yet, and there was no need for him to do so in front of everyone. The people on the ground were all shocked. He obviously knew about Yi Chen's power, but the fireman's evil plan would not be that simple. He would not feel comfortable letting Yi Chen take the risk. Thunder Freer nodded. Yi Chen laughed, "Actually, I can reach the astral reaching realm anytime I want." What? The two did not quite understand what Yi Chen meant. With a thought, a crystal clear and condensed pseudo-Zhenyuan appeared outside of Yi Chen's body. If observed carefully, one could see that more than 99% of the pseudo-Zhenyuan had been covered by the broken light. Only a small part of it had not been refined yet. It was a sign that he was about to reach the astral reaching realm. "I only need one more vibration and I will reach the astral reaching realm." Refining Zhenyuan was not a natural process. Instead, it required the warrior to vibrate his half-step Zhenyuan to extract the essence and remove the impurities. If the warrior did not do it on his own, then he would be stuck at this stage for a long time. "One more vibration and I will be able to extract the Zhenyuan and reach the astral reaching realm." Thunder Freer gasped. To be honest, he had never heard of a martial genius like Yi Chen before. Not only would he be able to reach the astral reaching realm within a year, the most important thing was that he was able to control the timing of the breakthrough. The others would have to work so hard to reach the astral reaching realm, afraid that they would be too late. Yi Chen, on the other hand, did not reach the astral reaching realm first, but waited for the critical moment to reach the astral reaching realm. No matter how you looked at it, he was a complete monster, a monster that could scare people. Thunder Freer would not believe that this guy did not make it big. Thunder Freer was shocked and excited at the same time. His blood was boiling. Cloud Dreamer frowned and said, "Yi Chen, it is not that I am doubting your control, but you know, this is not something you can be careless about. If you make a mistake, then your life will be in danger." Putting away his fake Zhenyuan, Yi Chen said confidently, "Senior, don't worry. I could have reached the astral reaching realm a week ago, but after thinking about it, I have decided to stay at this stage for now." After he had finished his closed-door training, he had heard about the fireman and the 5 wanderers from the Purple Sun Martial School, which had alerted him. Therefore, in the next half a month he could have reached the astral reaching realm, but he had chosen to give it up. Seeing how serious Yi Chen was, Cloud Dreamer had to believe him. He thought about the ancestors of the Sky Cloud Martial School and wondered what had happened to the Sky Cloud Martial School to have such a genius like Yi Chen. Someday, when he becomes the dominator of the true spirit continent, you will all be able to smile in the afterlife. I, Thunder Freer, have to admit that in terms of training speed, you would be able to beat me in the South Rudra region. Thunder Freer finally knew what a top martial genius was, and Yi Chen was one of them. Xikong Sheng Yen Chihua, they were only top martial geniuses. Senior, you are flattering me. The reason why Yi Chen was able to reach the astral reaching realm so fast was not only because of the influence of the Dragon Fountain Chi, but also because of the Green Lotus Sword spell. After reaching the 10th realm, each realm would be more powerful than the previous one. Reaching the 13th realm would already be an extreme limit for one's training speed. In fact, even Yi Chen himself could not imagine the power of the 13th realm. It was two different levels compared to the 12th realm. Not only had his battling power increased drastically, he had beaten the Gold Spear Man in 3 attacks, and his training speed had also reached an unimaginable speed. In fact, in the South Rudra region, being able to train a top-rank Earth Realm martial art to the 11th realm at the Clasping Yuan realm would already be considered a top martial genius. Reaching the 12th realm would be extremely rare, and there would only be one Xikong Sheng in a few hundred years. But reaching the 13th realm would only be a monster like Yi Chen. It should be known that even for astral-reaching realm warriors, top-rank Earth Realm martial arts were extremely hard to train. There were not many people who could reach the same realm as Yi Chen at the late astral-reaching realm. As for the 14th realm, one would basically have to reach the Seas of Souls realm to reach it. The 15th realm was said to be breaking through the barrier of Heaven realm martial arts, which even Seas of Souls realm warriors might not be able to reach easily. Therefore, Yi Chen's achievements in martial arts alone were already equivalent to the top astral-reaching realm warriors, which would increase his battling power by quite a bit. As for why he was able to train the Green Lotus Sword spell to the 13th realm, Yi Chen himself knew it the best. As he had learned more and more martial arts, the comprehensive ability brought by the fusion of his two souls had been fully utilized, and his martial talent had improved drastically. Thinking about the time when he was training the mysterious great art, he had spent 1.5 years to reach the 11th realm, which was the highest realm. And the 11th realm of the mysterious great art was only equivalent to the 9th realm of the Green Lotus Sword spell. Sometimes Yi Chen really wanted to know where his limit was. Thousands of miles away from the Sky Cloud Martial School, the fireman was flying with a group of people from the Purple Sun Martial School. Damn it. The more he thought about it, the angrier he got.